Hello, and welcome to another Gamer stream here on the Gamer Media Network. I am Nick, and I'm here to wish you a very happy Ides of March. Very happy Monday. I'm playing some TemTem, which does not have stabbing nor feels like a Monday. Ever in it, just ever. Before we get there, of course, I always like to mention at the top of the stream, and probably throughout, just in general, based on what I talk about, that we do have a website, trygamers.com. They're on the left side of your screen, where there's a lot of different old streams, this big thing that's on there, but also videos, articles, other content in general. Good place to go. We actually are planning on putting some content probably after getting our Time Spell Remastered box, which I'm very excited about, coming out this Friday. There's lots of cool stuff in there. As a Commander player, I'm very excited for some of the reprints. And I also recommend, though, while you're checking that out, feel free to peruse what we have on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at TryGamers, just like here on Twitch. We do a lot of posting there, especially now that we can schedule posts. Never thought I'd be that excited about somebody, social media allowing you to schedule posts, but here we are, which is why we're getting them like every day. We're catching up. We're getting going. So it's definitely a better resource on trygamers.com to kind of go to. Before it was kind of like, well, it's on Twitch for a couple weeks and then you'll have to watch it there. But now it's kind of we're hoping to get caught up a bit. It's been a bit, so you want to make sure to have that content available for you, since apparently it's snowing again today, so it doesn't look like spring's here yet. At least where I am. So, not sure where you are, what's happening in your neck of the woods, but if you don't know about TemTem, because some people, I'm more of a casual streamer of it, so I'm probably getting more people jumping in and being like, what's TemTem? It is a monster collection MMO. The idea, you'll probably, see it as something that, sorry. My brain, of course, clicked on the chat and got distracted. What's new? Basically, it's a monster collection MMO, which means that you are trying to collect these very cute TemTem, which are, all over the board. There's like over 100 at this point. I've collected almost all of them at this point, actually. I believe I am... Where am I? 95. There you go. I'm almost at that point. But it is not quite out yet. It is early access. You'll see at the bottom of the screen there. It actually kind of tags that. It's like, hey, this is an early access build of this, by the way. So not everything's in it, but there's a very good chunk. It's about 2/3 of the way through the story at this point that's been revealed, as far as we know. I mean, it's 4 of 6 islands, so 2/3. But, they have dailies, they have weeklies, they have a lot of different stuff that, that you'd expect to see in this kind of thing. So, I highly love it, as you can tell. I've been playing a lot of it, and even off stream I've been playing some of it, just to kind of, grind a bit. MMOs take a little grinding, so you can't just play it over a couple hours every couple weeks. I was gonna, oh crap, I actually forgot to do something. So 1 second, I need to update the, weekly reset thing. I'm like, wait a second, I never updated that. 1 second. Weekly reset information. There you go. Okay. I'm like, before I click that live, I probably should get the right thing. So in case you're coming here and you haven't quite checked out TemTem, you're hopping in while you're about to jump in, let me do you a favor. Here's the weekly reset information. So free Tem looks like you get some tiny crystals and coins, so if you're looking more money direction, that's definitely a good week this week to make it worth your releases in free Tem. We're on a Luma week, because it kind of switches every other between good stats and Luma. So Volfi and Osuki. I presume Osuki. Osuchi. I'm gonna go with Ki. It's probably Ki. Those two have a 4x Luma ratio in the side park. So feel free to check that out this week if you're looking for one of those. I honestly just realized I have no idea what they look like, and I probably should look them up, so I feel like I'm doing something. Okay. Let's see. Volfi. At this point, I have to wiki up a lot. I will warn people. Ooh, I like the gray and yellow kind of combination for Volfi. I don't know if I would want one specifically that badly though for that, because I feel like I'm gonna have to really like one if I'm gonna go for a Luma without a radar, because I'm not quite at that point yet. But yeah, it's kind of that general scale of like gunmetal kind of colorization apparently. So if you're looking for that sort of Luma, you're in luck for this week. Let's go ahead and remove that then. Oh yeah, and then it's for fishing, it's neutral and water for the Koish. Okay, so we're gonna be doing that. Like I said, there are dailies. I haven't actually done them on stream yet because we just got to Kisua in story last week. I've been doing them almost every day since. So that's a thing. Basically, you go ahead, you come to the post office here. So you have to get to Kisua to do this. So it's near the end of the current content. But you come here and you get up to 3 packages to deliver somewhere in the world. Somewhere in the archipelago. Could be anywhere. So, for instance, I have one that's in Uhuru, right here. And then I have one over in the Geno Gap. So I have to kind of go. Now, both these ended up in Kiswa, so it's not too terrible, honestly. I've had some that are really spread out across the islands. I've had some that are like right next to each other. But it is random between 1 to 3 that you get, so it's not like you can always get 3 or anything, or timing-wise. It seems random. I'm hoping that they fix that at some point where you almost either can choose how many you want, like if you're running low in late in the day, or if it's like based on how early you pull it or something. I don't know. I feel like there has to be some way where, because the randomization is a little off, you can get stuck at 1 for a while. I haven't had too much issue. I've been getting a lot of 2s, a few 3s, only a couple 1s, so I've been doing pretty okay with the stuff. But and the nice part is on the wiki, it actually has a nice map under Postal Service where you can look them up, because I don't know many of the NPCs. I didn't catch their names. That's crazy talk here. So I will look them up for sure, no matter what. So it looks like we have them down there. So we're just going to run down to where they are. And this is, like I said, this is something that if you know where they are, like if you learned enough, or you get one that you got like recently and you just remember it, then more power to you for sure, but I will not remember them. And it looks like this one should be... Nope, I went too far. It is... Are they right here? Haha! So yeah, you're basically delivering food, which is interesting. It's literally food delivery. Like, if anyone feels that's a little too real right now, this was made during the pandemic, finished during the pandemic, I shouldn't say made. So, I mean, there's a little bit of that flavor of like, yeah, that might be a big thing nowadays. So that was that one, and then Geno Gap. With that one, probably we're gonna have to go through. Let's see where it actually is. So yeah, you just put in the name of the person, and it's like, oh hey, you want this person, right? They are all the way over there, because of course they are. Okay. Well, we're gonna go and find them then. The other thing I will mention about this stream today, is I kind of mentioned. Before we go do that, actually, I can always do the food delivery later. I can do the delivery later. We're going to ignore that. There are kind of 2 things I want to accomplish today. Dailies were kind of a half accomplishment. I just want to freely do it at some point, but I'm not too worried about it. So, first thing is finish the story. I realized I was actually really close to finishing it last time, but it was so late that I was just like, no, I need to stop. But I'm only a few quests away because I actually got Lady Lottie's diary already. I grabbed that because someone mentioned to grab it. I can't remember who. Thank you, whoever that was. Streams ago, like go back 10 streams is probably there. Who asked me, who was like, oh, get that from the Giant Banyan while you're here to get Kinu. I'm like, okay, fair enough. So we're going to finish story. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and try the Earth Trine. Now, it might take a little grinding, because if you see down here, I'm kind of getting that last one still leveled up a bit. I'd like them in the 40s altogether. I know that's not quite good enough necessarily, so it's going to still be a rough fight, but at this point, I need it for the leveling. In training this team, I have definitely even noticed more so that it's a little rough. It's definitely having some issue where I'm trying to like get a general level up for one of the shrines to take on, and I'm realizing slowly that it's like, okay, this is grindy. So I'd like to finish one of them, because if I finish the Earth Shrine, I should have a really easy time then doing the Water Shrine. The Crystal's still going to be a bit rougher, because I still got to train it somewhere else, because there's not really a good place to train for Crystal right now. It's really going to be Sapanku probably, because of the electric there. But, because yeah, there's not a good place where it's like, only mental. Well, there's really not a place, because no. At least not with good levels or such. So I kind of run into that issue here, where that one's going to be a little rougher, but doing these, the Earth into the Water one, I think is a good idea. especially because the water one actually covers 2 quests, because you need to go do it and then come back and learn something, basically. So, but yeah, the idea is to take on the Earth Trine. We have, you can see I have one thing that's not an Earth. This is a bit of an imposter here. Just I've been doing it to kind of help with leveling, because I have a roller, which is 48, so I'm not too worried about that one as much. I've been trying to get these ones up in level to kind of deal with it. I obviously have my starter is Earth, so that's very helpful to deal with it in the first place. So that's kind of one thing that's a little helpful with that, is just I do have my starter that's at 58 already. It's going to really help to get through some of them that might be tougher. But in the meantime, though, we still have a few others. So we might have to grind a bit. Just I'd like to get the level up on this a bit. We might do a little free time during that time, just catching to get ready for those ones like the tiny 2020 tiny crystal is not bad to just get the free 600 right there for plus what else you're getting. So we'll kind of go that route. I don't think we're going to do Psy Park yet. I mean, again, I think on stream it makes more sense to wait for radars to really go for Luma. I don't think it makes sense to, because it's going to make more sense to do that there. It just will. So I probably won't go for that yet. But first, we got to talk to Dr. Sasia. What if the name books on applied psychohistory? Wow. Ah, you're that Tusslebolts, is it? That Denizen Detective's sidekick, right? Exactly. Ah, pleasure. From the sound of it, you've done some service to Kiso on this so-called Congress. You're a part of it. What do you want, then? What are your thoughts on the Congress? A lot of urgency and plenty of good intentions, but most of this has no precedent. We all respect Mrs. Moral Authority after having expelled the Bel Sota from Kiswa, but he has no legal or official mandate. Some dojo masters didn't show up, and those of us who did are in no way subordinate to him or his Congress or any other authority. It makes it difficult to take decisions as an assembly. Musa and Tahani make a good case for decisive action, but in what form? That's fair. You know what? It's kind of fair. It's like, yeah, there's not really an authority for this. There's no background. How do we act on this as separated states, basically? A sort of congressional army roaming the archipelago like the kings of old times? Nobody wants that, except Coley. Sounds like something that general would, would dream of. How's Panku? Bit more restive than usual, truth be told. We keep hearing of weird things going on here at Kiswa, and there was some disruption to our crystal supplies from Takma, but we didn't foresee anything like this. And then there have been weird incidents in my lab. At first I thought it was only an accident. Then I thought it was deliberate, but just the doing of some petty local tamer. But now I hear Dr. Hamajo has joined those Belsotos. Everything starts to make sense. Terrifying sense, to be honest. What kind of incidents? It's complicated. Anyway, is there any reason why you're asking me this, or is it just idle chat? I'm investigating Hamajo. There we are. Ah, there we are. Tahani inquired about that too, but then she had to meet that detective of yours. Since you seem to be working with them, I suppose I can trust you. Well, story time. I'll try to keep it brief. It hasn't really been brief so far, but, that's, she's fun to talk to, though. I gotta go there. I'll try to keep it brief, though. Not like those long rants of Professor Victor. Every time he tells me the story, I want to tear my hair out. Tell me the whole story. So this is a long, long time ago. Before digital TemTem, before Tem cards. Back then, you had to carry your TemTem with you in herds or in cages, but I digress. Back then, Tahani was fresh out of the dojo, not much more experienced than you, and Konstantinos was a strapping young lad. And Dr. Hamajo was one of the most promising students. He was very much into TemTem too, so I put him in charge of the digital project. He was much more interested in the tech applications, you see. What tech applications? Tem cards, for instance. Can you imagine how cumbersome it was to move TemTem around before them cards? You had to be quite wealthy to be able to afford more than just a handful of them. And don't even try bringing fire TemTem aboard airships or traveling overland with water Tem in places like the Tassa Desert. You get the idea. And not just them cards, every piece of digital tech we have today derives from that same project. TVs, computers, that Tempedia of yours, everything works on the same principle. Also evolved. Tahani was dealing with the new Tems themselves, taming and training them. Hamajo was developing the digital, using the research paper of Konstantinos. Until then, just a crazy theory. Ureni and Nala, the former dojo master of Kisua. Oh, I haven't met Nala yet. That's interesting. We're helping on the bio side of it. I lost track of most of them when I went to the tech dev, but they were all top notch. It was the first truly pan-archipelagan project, and it was glorious. The very creme de la creme, as Victor liked to put it. He was one of the assistants, very chatty guy. Teaches Tem lore at Arbery these days. Hamajo didn't want to stop with digital Tems. He thought he thought we had to keep perfecting them, and by perfecting, he meant making them like robots, mindless slaves. So, of course, the more taming-oriented team members objected. Those who come from dojo traditions concerned with those who came from dojo traditions concerned with Tem welfare. But he was a pure technologist. Yeah, that's not how I wanted to say. And didn't care much for ethics. Konstantinos tried his best to bring about some sort of compromise, but he wasn't very good at mediating, to be honest. Things turned pretty nasty. What about Diamond TemTem? There was something, a theoretical paper or something like that. Imagine that! In the middle of the storm, he proposed dropping crystal Tems into pressure chambers. That didn't go down well. I'm not surprised that he's continued to pursue that idea. He was always relentless and remorseless too. Would have been a great scientist, but ultimately what he did wasn't science. Science is not neutral, and to pretend that is disingenuous. We have to make a stand, and we have to stand for ethics. We're science folks, not gods. We have a duty of care toward Tems and humans. Konstantinos failed. I know he's your mentor and we respect him greatly, but you have to understand, everyone makes mistakes, and he was very young back then. He wanted to give Hamajo a chance to redress himself, and he was also very interested in digital Tems, so he feared shutting down the project might lose him more advanced species. Oh well. These last few years he's been traveling a lot, and he told me something about metamimetic. Oh jeez, words. These words in this game, I love them, but holy crap, what does that mean? Metamimetic. It doesn't even want to tell me. It is a word, right? Wow. Well, mimetic is relating to characterize mimicry. Okay, so thinking about mimicry? Were you just staring at me that whole time until I figured it out instead of just telling me?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Honestly, I didn't pay much attention. The whole temtemology angle is a bit boring to me. A cheap, scalable, sensible alternative to pan-solar power, but now that's the future. In the end, I had to intervene, but it was too late. The team split, I had to expel Hamajo, and the project was cancelled. It was pretty much a success, mind you. We had digital TemTem and a technological revolution underway, but who knows what it could have been. In any case, I tried to keep tabs on Hamajo, but he totally vanished. He was bitter and felt betrayed, and I wish I had intervened earlier and saved him, if that makes sense. To the Ana incident you mentioned, to Clan Balsoto having abundant digital TemTem, to the invasion of Kisua, and to recent incidents in Sapanku. For some time now, digital TemTem have been disappearing from my lab in Nanto. I thought it was lab assistants or local tamers being a bit cheeky, a bit greedy. But now I see the pattern, and there are rumors about a fortified cloud going around, which I dismissed as folk tales from drunk villagers, but now I don't think so. Disappearing? Yes. And also a lot of them seem to have escaped or been purposefully released into the wild. It's caused some problems with local TemTem. I thought it was an accident, but now I'm not so sure. Sounds more like there's been a major Belsoto operation in Sapanku going on for a while, right under my nose. Was that about a fortified cloud? It's too similar to legends and fairy tales, like the Nantoshima Monogatari, to be taken seriously. But it matches some testimonies we heard from the Kisuan resistance fighters at the Pelagic. No, it's not that. I know what archipelago is. Archipelago, yeah. I can't speak, you know that, and you're having too much fun with this. I can't talk for the smart people in this game. Some sort of massive fortress that they can move around. Maybe go Sapanku then. Not so fast. Sapanku's a big place, trust me on that. We don't have the time for you to be trekking all over the place looking for Belsotos. The clan could be preparing a new attack as we speak. You need to narrow it down a little more. Once we're there, I can help you as much as you need, but we'll need a more precise location and an airship, of course. How can we narrow it down? Don't ask me, I'm a scientist. Aren't you the apprentice of that detective, what's his name, Carlos? It's more his line of work than mine. You're coming with me? Of course I am. I'm the Dojo Master of Sapanku, in case you hadn't noticed. Attaboy. And don't forget we need an airship. Sapanku is too far to rock hump it all the way, or whatever you call it. Rock hump. Oh jeez. Oh my. So now I gotta go back and talk to Carlos. And this is where if I didn't have the diary that had been found in Giant Banyan, I would have to get it after this next point. And so that's where I saved a lot of time not having to go all the way back there. Not that it would take too much time, but still. Partner, how did it go? We need an airship. Well, I guess there's always Narwhal. I mean, if you can convince them to let you ride again. Last time was a bit bumpy. We need to go to Sapangu. Yes, that makes sense. Where in Sapangu is the question. Actually, there's something I wanted to show you. I've been studying this diary you got me. Our old friend Lottie has encoded a secret message in the text. Bring Telobos to Iwaba. Keep Operation Zalbian going to garrison it. Yes, it's a wild region on the edge of Sapangu, exactly where I would hide a giant flying fortress, if I had one. Which would be that Telobos the Kisuan witnesses speak of. We got it, Tesla Bolts. We know where the Belsoto are hiding. We can hit them before they plan another attack. Quick, go to Musa and sail to Iwaba as soon as you can. Oop. Then I gotta go and get approval for it. Now, obviously, in case, though that being said, actually, in case you haven't been following this, like I said, this is an early access game, so I'm about to get to the point where I can't go to it, because Sapangu does not exist in this game yet. It is planned to be out in probably in the next month or so. So, I mean, it is coming out soon, which is why I wanted to catch up. Oh, I should have went up. I wanted to catch up to the story, because then I'm caught up and ready for when that does come out. So that's why I've been kind of really pushing to make sure I can make it in time. Testable, it's good to see you again, friend of Kisua. I know where the Belsoto are. Yes! That's excellent news. We need to take the fight to their turf instead of just waiting and reacting. Problem is that the Archipelagic Congress is in practical stalemate. Tahani and I couldn't get them to agree on a major coordinated attack, or coordinated action, so we have to rely on trusted individual agents until we can deploy larger forces. You guessed it. That means you. Grand. Step forward. As president of the first Archipelagic Conference or Congress, words are hard. This is Monday. This is too much talking for Monday. It is my privilege and honor to grant you, Testabolts of Denise, the status of Special Congressional Agent. You will act as a specially appointed representative of the Congress, our right hand and vanguard in the fight against Clan Belsoto. I am honored, President. It is an honor indeed, but also a burden. I would hesitate to drop such a heavy load on the shoulders of one so young, but younger Kisuans have fought well against the Belsoto, and you have proven yourself. We must fight. We shall go on to the end. We shall fight in Sapangu as we fought on the plains and in the mountains of Kisua. We shall fight them on the beaches of Denise, on their flying fortresses as high as the high above and as deep down as the down below. We shall never surrender. Among the resistance. By the decree of the Congress, the good ship Narwhal is hereby declared a congressional vessel, with Ada Teray as our special agent too. You have first priority for refueling and a launch spot. Any and all friends of liberty around the archipelago shall do their utmost to help the bearer of this insignia. Oh wow, I actually literally do have an insignia to say, hey, I'm important. Should get back to the dojo now. Go on, Testabolts. Fair enough, so now it's like, yeah, fly to Sapangu. And it's like, about that. I'm actually curious what happens if I try to do it. Like, does it... Narwhal's at your service. We got a mission to Sapangu. Yes, the captain has told me we're a congressional vessel now. How exciting. We're refueling and getting ready for the trip. By the way, some guys brought a note for you a minute ago. Where did I put the... here. Thanks for... Oh, I see. So they put it in where it's like, thanks for playing this update at TemTem. We hope you enjoyed your adventures. We'll continue Sapangu with the next update. Until then, stay safe, be happy, and TemTem up. Oh, that's kind of cool how they put that in. It's kind of just like, they factor it into the story of you not being able to go, which I do like. That's actually really cool. So, but yes, that, from my work on the update, I think it was in here. I can kind of check it quick. I'm trying to remember exactly what they said for their wording on it. Because it has been delayed a bit with the unfortunate status of the Panini. For those that don't know, pandemic. I said it really quietly so nobody heard me, obviously. But yeah, at the end they talk about... Yeah, there's a lot of new stuff coming, apparently, that they've actually put in some extra stuff, knowing that it's been longer. They just, you know, are waiting to balance some stuff and see how it goes, but... yeah, they're targeting the end of March, beginning of April. So that's why I'm like, in about the next month or so, it should be. I mean, like I said, you know, yeah, we've currently halted all bug fixings to focus entirely on testing out the new content. This also means some bugs might take a while to get fixed, aka they, you know, because they were fixing bugs in the standard game. Like, there's still bugs in the game. Like, there's stuff that can happen and such that they were fixing. But yeah, new Tems. It has a really cool aesthetic. I do like it a lot. Long list of the balance changes, some quality of life changes, and they put Hello Teleport in there, which, you know, we do not have a teleport system currently in TemTem. So we just have the ships that can take you to the ports. So you kind of have to run around a little bit a lot of times, and that does take some extra time, especially as you're just trying to quickly run places. So that is something that, you know, is coming up. But yeah, just unfortunately, as a small studio, they got hit really hard by the pandemic and everything going on, and so it just is taking a bit longer. But to be fair, I'd rather they take longer and it'd be good. I mean, I'm that kind of player where I'm just like, I can wait an extra year if it means that it's just better. Like, especially with this one, because this is definitely an MMO that I'm probably gonna be playing for a while, just in general. So we finished up the story, like I said, so we got that. So now it's kind of just doing the general leveling up that I was talking about. Now, like I was saying, I just kind of been running around and having the Acronox level up. Now, probably for those that have done the Earth Trine or know TemTem matchups, you're probably like, why are you doing Acronox? One, I got it as an egg, so it's all green, and it's just free, which is very nice. But two, at this point, because of just running around the way I was doing and everything, and kind of going very slowly through the story, I have the gear that, the Schween's Horn, which is going to go ahead and make all toxic type techniques into water, which is going to be very, very good when it comes to dealing with stuff, because basically it just means I have all these water moves suddenly out of nowhere, despite it not being a water type. Now, yes, that doesn't mean it'll be as good, probably, but, you know, it's going to be a good matchup when it comes to, like, Droply or stuff like that, where, or against Volphy, because I'm sure they'll have Volphy kind of thing. You know, it's one of those where it's going to be a nice matchup against those types, because it's going to be toxic, but yeah, it's going to turn out stuff that's going to work. So, just in the nice level of just trying to get a nice, a well-rounded squad that still does stuff. Because obviously we have the melee in Osakai, we have the water in Droply, we have nature in Volphy, we have more melee in Seismunch. And we'll have just a general solid Tems like Acronox and, excuse me, Rolder. So, that's the idea. Go that route, but until then, we kind of just need to make sure we're still just leveling up things as such. But yeah, we have to go to the gap, so we might as well just go ahead and start working our way toward that. I mean, you're going to see me moving my team around a lot just based on the areas I'm in. There's some of them that are more oriented. When you have it where like all of them are Earth type, you kind of have to be careful about what you're running into and with what grouping, or you're going to lose your team really quickly. So, but yeah, we'll go deliver our second and last package for dailies. And then I have this nice spot that only gives you attack TVs, and I've been kind of just using that. It's also been a really good spot just for leveling, because, you know, 44s, 45s. So I'll probably just head back to that for a little bit, maybe try to get a few levels on board, and we'll go from there. But, you know, I don't want to grind too much unless we just get to be chatty a bit, but, so I'll just be running around with my Osakai. I really don't have, that's the thing at this point, especially with the early access, that obviously is always rough, is just when it's an early access game, you kind of run out of things to do, because you don't have the whole game. So you kind of run into this issue of, okay, now what? And that's kind of where I'm getting now, of kind of like, well, you basically have what's considered current endgame content, which is the shrines, and the rematches. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to get a team together for rematches, I kind of need to be able to level them, which means I need the shrines. So the shrines seem to be the first thing to go for. For those that don't know what I'm talking about with shrines, for those that have played Pokemon, which are probably most to all of my audience that's going to show up on this, in Pokemon there is the Pokemon, obviously, Eevee. Eevee has multiple forms, in terms of that you can evolve them into for different ways. That's kind of, the shrines are the answer to kind of an Eevee-like Tem. So there's 2i, who you get right away. You get a 2i along with your starting Tem to get 2 Tem to start out with. And basically, sorry, my brain's trying to do stuff of like, oh yeah, that's right, this is probably not a great place for my Tem to be, but, oops. That's not too bad, actually, in fairness. So the shrines are the place where the 2i go to get your second form. They still are wind, but they're wind in something else always. Base is what they get. Well, you currently have a crystal, a water, and a earth shrine to do this. I think the plan is eventually to have 5 or 6 of them in total, so you kind of have multiple different forms for the 2i. They don't have. I don't think there's plans to have a shrine for each type, because you kind of already have Koish, which is water, and something else. So I don't think they're going to do it where it's going to cover everything, but you know, they're going to have the different ones, and so that's kind of why it's important, though, is that they're meant to be leveled for someone who's closer to late game. The idea is you're generally not going to be going after them you wouldn't generally go after them at this point probably in the story as much. You might be getting close to doing it or considering it, but you probably wait a little bit or want to go like to Sapanku and then maybe come back for it. But it's the only really good way to level right now because the levels are higher than the level cap. So, did I pass where I was supposed to be? I was just chatting and I'm like, I don't even know. No, I'm supposed to go down here. I'm still paying attention correctly. Somehow. Let's go all the way down here to... Yeah, delivery. And now we head back. So yeah, we're just going to be getting some levels. Now I know obviously I'm not perfectly TV training this group. I'm really only expecting to go and use them to defeat the Earth Trine and then probably not use most of them for a bit. Like, until we get to Sapanku when we actually need some Earth types, probably. So that is kind of one where it may be like, why are you, aren't you perfect EV training it or something? It's like, no. For the rematch team, yes. I'm going to be doing that where I'm going to try to get the best team together I can and obviously still be improving upon the formula every so often as I, you know, either don't win or I realize that there's a better option or something. I've read up a lot online about kind of rematch teams, and a lot of the precedent is not to create good enough teams for each one, because obviously there are, what do we have at this point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, 5. We have 5 dojos. I'm like, for a second, like, am I missing anybody? Because yeah, we have, I'm going to count them now because now I'm not trusting myself. Sophia, we have Tahani, we have Fire, which I can't remember their name right now. We have Yareni, and we have Musa. 5, yeah. My brain's just still not trusting that, but okay, I'm just gonna look it up, let's be honest here. Dojos. Yeah, we have 5, okay. Rawiri, that's what it is, Rawiri was fire in nature. That's right. Yeah, so that's kind of where, that's definitely the best direction to go, but... Oh, and then yeah, that's weekly, okay, gotcha. But you basically need to come up with a team of 8, and so the amount of Tem you need to get to a okay level, even if it's like specifically formatted for the dojo, is just way more effort than just getting a team with a few substitutions maybe here or there, but getting a team of 8 that's just good across the board. So I'm probably going to be working on that pretty soon, just to try to get that going. It's one of those things I'm like, that's a good idea to do that. But that does also obviously mean that there's probably going to be less TemTem streams. They're going to be more few and far between until story's out, so it might mean that we skip the 1 and 2 weeks and do something else, like Magic the Gathering or something. Just based on, I don't know if I'm going to have necessarily content that's going to be interesting. Like, I'm going to do a shrine tonight, so you can kind of see how the shrines go. But then it's like, okay, well the other shrines I probably just can go make a team and do it. You know, instead of having like one stream for just one shrine, you know, a whole stream for a shrine is a lot. So, probably will mean more of that. Or if there's some update that brings in new content, I'm guessing that's not the case. I'm guessing all new content's going to come with Sapanku. That's just, makes more sense probably to release it all at once rather than release a little bit now and then that has issues and it delays Sapanku because they have to be fixing the issues or something. So. My little, well, we'll go back, we'll get the dailies, and then we can kind of run back here. My little area is right here, in case people are curious about what it is. It is in Ju Tunnel. It is this little lake area, but basically it only spawns Droply, which means that you can put out a Volphy and just wreck house constantly. And so, I've kind of had it where I've just left out my Osakai and Volphy and just leveled that up while getting the Power's Cloak on my Acronox. That way, it's kind of leveled up bit as a group, and it's just they are generally at a 44, 45 level very often. I mean, there's a little few lower, but I think it's 41 to 45 officially. But you're generally getting some pretty good experience if you just kind of swim around that for a bit. So that's kind of been my way of grinding it up, because then Volphy, which Volphy's going to be a winner in this one. Like, no doubt about it, Volphy's going to be a bit of a winner, because the nature move is going to be great against a lot of them. Just no doubt about it. So we'll kind of go from there. Which is kind of why I was so big on getting it. Now, if I remember correctly, the Volphy, though... No, that was just a caught one, yeah. So there's nothing too crazy about it. My Nidrasil is obviously just my regular Nidrasil I got way back when. I probably should get a new one at some point, but meh. Osakai was just the one that I happened to do while leveling, so it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. It has enough stamina to make it work. Droply is one that I think I just found randomly, like when I was doing this grinding, and so I just like, yeah, we'll just use this one. That's why it's not a Gario, even though you'd think, oh, evolve it, it's probably better. Size Munch, obviously know that one, which is just my Tem, which is why it's just basic. I don't have a crazy Size Munch. Yeah, I just have my regular. Then Acronox was an egg from dailies, so I do recommend doing dailies just to get some fun all green eggs, because that can at least help out a little bit with your rematch dreams. Because I do have a couple other ones. I can't remember which ones I've gotten so far. I want to say one was a Hidoti, which I'm like, Taifu's okay. I'm not too crazy about that one. I can't remember what the other one was, but I was like, oh, that's great. Yep, so you don't get anything too crazy generally. You usually get some fruit stuff like this or candy, and then you get some money. But 1,000 Pansuns a day just by itself running around is really not bad. Like, in terms of moneymaker, I've honestly done a couple things that direction. I'm actually wondering Have I shown my house on stream? Maybe that's a plan we'll do at the end. I'll run there at the end and show... Nah, let's run now. I'm gonna go show up my house. I know I'm supposed to be planning for the Earth, but we're gonna have some fun first. But yes, I actually, because the reason I was thinking of it, I was like, oh yeah, I even had enough money to easily buy for the house and buy some new clothes and everything. I was like, wait, I don't think I've shown off the house as I'm talking about it. I do actually own a house. So let me go to Omninesia and show you. So I did the 2 quests that you need for getting the deed and then getting a house built in Atoll Row. Atoll Row. There we go. Blah, 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 blah. So I did actually do that. So I might as well go show it off a little bit. That way I can stop by free Tem and pick up any money I had from last week, because I didn't do crazy last week. I just got to the first level and got some full revives, because that seemed good for stuff eventually. And we'll just run from these battles. There's no reason to fight them. They're not going to be worth my time, and I don't want to grab the TVs, so I now kind of see the reasoning of why that matters. Yep, so I just had 2, so I might as well just pick up the money I had, but... Yep, and then we just go over here, because this is a shortcut area. If you go through those 2 pieces of grass, you don't have to go through any other grass, and so it's kind of worth it. Yeah, it won't take too long to get there, so might as well show it off. Then also my address is on, so if anybody wants to come check it out as I progress and make it better. Just doing daily money and free time money and all of that, I'm eventually going to have enough money to actually get enough furniture for it. Obviously right now it's a little too early to have furniture, because I have no money making schemes currently set up for in terms of breeding Tem or anything, so. But yeah, so you come here and you just start doing some quests. But yeah, there's stuff all around basically to buy furniture. But what you can do is you can travel. Now, you can also just visit the row and look at other people's houses. If you're ever just curious to see what it looks like, feel free. But if you're looking for my specific address, there it is. But basically, that's my specific address. If you want to come check it out. Obviously, some people around me have already built houses, so I can check that out. Some actually already have some vetting and things. Again, I probably should do that at some point, but I've kind of been more worried about setting up. Yeah, this is probably closer to what my thing is. This is officially what I have, basically, which I should go check it out. You get a table for free, basically, and so that's the one table I have in here. You can change the layout of things and do everything in here, just like you would in other kind of customization home things, but basically just furniture costs money, and until I kind of do rematches, I probably won't have enough money for it. But the idea is this just goes on and on. I think people have actually done it where they've ran the whole distance of it, and it's taken like 5 days in continuation, like if you just kept going. So there's a ton of room that they already have on there, and I presume they can always just expand it if they, with more players. So you can always just drop in randomly at people's houses and just kind of see what people have done with the place and cool furniture ideas and such. So just wanted to mention that on stream, because I didn't do that on stream. That was kind of a lot of running around and leveling. You have to level up basically 2 Tems, or have the certain evolutions of them at least, and that takes some time. So kind of what I've been doing with the other stuff. Just realized, where are my post-it notes? I just realized I have no idea where those went. They got stolen or what? They were up there. Did Kitty steal them or something? I don't know. I'll have to check. Maybe Belmont moved them, because I know he's doing some stuff for his new game tomorrow night. So maybe I moved them. Who knows? I'll find them at some point. But I basically just had some notes and things of what I was doing and kind of that direction, and because I only have a few Tems left really to do. There's some 2 evolution Tems and then the 2Y evolutions, and that's it. I'm actually all done then and caught up to all the evolutions you can do. So, or all the Tem that you can currently get, I should say. There are some Tem that have been revealed that aren't attainable. So like you're like, oh, they're around in my Tem deck, but I can't actually do anything with them. That's kind of what did you? Oh yeah, so here's one of the 2i evolutions. Here's the water one. I don't actually know all their names, I'll be honest. I think Tuvine is the crystal one. I think To Rock is the earth one. Yeah, To Rock is the earth one. What's the other one? Tukai. Tukai is like a toucan. Tukai. So that's kind of what's up with that. So just I saw one, I'm like, oh hey, let me point this out. This is one of them. This is the water one. So oh my. Yeah, so we'll get a team together. It's just gonna take some time, and I'd rather have the leveling available in Kisuwa and probably also in Denise for the water shrine first, and then I can kind of go from there. There's also been some tips that people have done for like free Tem, where it's like, I think it's 2 whip lumps with a certain thing, and you can basically freeze anybody at least, whether or not it actually, it won't be fast necessarily, but it will for sure be a catch kind of thing. So, where was I going? I don't know where I was going. We already went back. Yeah, I might as well just go and head to the little cave area. I'm pretty far. I know I have a couple of the enhancer candies, I think, or not enhancer candies, what is it? What are they called? Growth enhancers, there we go. I have 4 of them, so worst case, if I really feel like I'm underleveled after a couple battles, I can always level them up a little further, but I'd like them to be a bit higher than 32. That's still a bit low, even for trying to cheese through it, so we're just going to do a little leveling, then probably take a break and go take on the Earth Trine, Nothing too crazy. The reason I don't do it in the lake, because I would first think like, oh yeah, Moyo Lake would be great, it's a great place to do it. It's just that you also get the Koish, and the Koish can be any type, and so you kind of really can't prepare as much against those as much as you'd like. Oh, no, I want a Plague there and Sharp Leaf there. But yeah, see, because of the ×4 against these, you can drop the drop leaves pretty quickly. Which is just very, very nice when you're trying to do some experience gains. Ooh, Toxin Shower. Damages all TemTem on the battlefield, that's interesting. I don't think Sand Splatter's gonna be very good against the Tem that I'm gonna be battling against. Generally, a Earth move is not gonna do very well against an all-Earth area. So. We'll just go ahead. We'll do our best to be prepared. I mean, worst case, I don't do well, and we just end the note on going and catching Koish in the lake. That is an option. There's always an option at some point to just go. You know what? We're just gonna go ahead and go fishing instead. That is an option. Because I haven't shown off fishing either, now I think of it, because that was something I also unlocked afterwards. There's a lot that I've done in the last couple weeks, now I think of it. Because once you finish the main story, everything's really opened up to you in Kisuwa, and so you have all these options that they've recently done of like, here's ways to make money, But so if I do this should help with leveling up. And yeah, it means the Droplet doesn't get any experience, but at the same time, being almost 46 is going to be good enough for where I'm going. Not just like good, but good enough. Because, especially with it having the water type, the only thing that's really going to be rough is going to be the Volphy matchup, but everyone else shouldn't be too bad. At least not too bad where it's also not going against it, but yeah, this is where I said it's just like, it's 43, I can do Plague, I drop it, and it just keeps leveling up, so. But it does probably mean a lot of attack TV trained Earth Tem, which is interesting, so. But what I also was giggling about with this is that the quest lines are for the Water Shrine and for the Crystal Shrine, and I'm like, cool, so I'll do the Earth Shrine, which has nothing to do with the quest lines that I have. So I thought that was quite funny in terms of a choice to be made of like, well, it tells me to go to these two, so I'll go to this other one. Does that mean I shouldn't be? Who knows, but... oh, the other thing I'll mention, because it's probably going to be like, whoa, that's weird luck that you're having. I have the Volphy have the lure on right now. I'm not going to do that in the actual battle, but it's easier to make the Droply do the water move against Volphy, who's not going to take it as hard, and who has the healing potential. So if it seems really weird, like they're always hitting Volphy, that's just bizarre luck. It's like, it's the Volphy's holding a lure. Like it's meant to be that way to try and make it so Osukai doesn't have to go away very quickly, especially since I'm not that close to a heal area. So I am pretty close to Bumby, so if I wanted to, I could always run down there, but. So you're going to see a lot of Droplys go down and get very used to their noise of them fainting. So, I mean, I guess technically I could say I'm looking for Luma Droplys, you know? That's one way to look at it. I don't think it's a very efficient way to do it, but it is technically what I'm doing. But I actually don't know what the Luma looks like for this. Oh, it's kind of like, yeah, the green sea monster sort of feel. Well, maybe we'll get lucky and we'll find one. Yeah, the big reason, of course, that would be very nice for my leveling is that one of the Tems I need to get full through their evolution scale is a Platypet all the way to Platymus. Especially because that will help with my Water Shrine team, because having the Toxic subtype will be really good. And so, like, having that option to go and bring that as it gets higher level to the Earth Trine will be very good. So, also, I have to do that for the mental starter, and since they're all Osukais there, a mental move at higher level is also going to do quite well against them. So that's kind of why I'm like, you know what, unlocking this is probably going to be good for me. It's going to help out a lot with what I'm doing. Obviously, it's not going to help with getting the crystal all the way through their evolution, but what can you do? Can only do so much. Yeah, I'm thinking if we shoot for the Acronox to get to level 36, that's probably, excuse me, that's probably best. Sorry, I had tacos tonight, so a little hiccupy from the wonderful, wonderful seasonings. By wonderful, I mean package. But it makes it quick and good. Yeah, see, Osukai's leveling up then, and yeah. I'm probably going to be underleveled for it, but to be fair, I've been underleveled for the dojos. And as long as I go back to heal when I'm having an issue, I've been fine. I have some full revives, worst case, I have a lot of revives. I have a lot of items in general that I've gotten, just, you know, that I'm really not going to use much because I think in competitive rules you can't use items. So I'm not going to use them in dojo rematches. So I might as well use them for the shrines and go that route. So not like there's much extra content at this point, so not facing a max anytime soon, for those that know what happens in that story. If not, feel free to watch the highlight stream that I just did, or highlight reel that I did last night. That will catch you up real quick on what happened there. I actually told Belmont later, I'm like, too soon, because he mentioned like something not even close to it, but like referencing something like that happening, and I was just like, nope, too soon. I'm actually curious where the TVs are at this point. I don't think I'm going to hit 500 on the TVs before I do this, but it'll be very interesting to see where they end up. I also was doing it actually where I would have Osakai just like get them low like that and then do free tem. I might still do that, just out of sheer wanting to catch something and release it for the free stuff this week. But the problem is I don't have any way to deal with it. It's not like I'm doing Nidrasil, which has a lot of moves to do. Has moves to do what it needs to do. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Well, I'll bring Nidrasil in then. Why not? Why not? Is this probably a bad idea? Probably, for what I'm actually trying to do. But I have it trapped now, so we're gonna hope for the best. There we go. That one's actually not terrible. So I'm gonna put it in my Tem deck, but I probably eventually will release it, just I need to compare it to things. So we're gonna go ahead and just use the vial now. Makes more sense to do it, so. But yeah, that's why I haven't been doing as much though, because obviously it can go very wrong if I don't catch them when I need to, so. Most of the time it's, oh, oopsies. I did not mean to do Lifeful Sap, but here we are. Because they have the water affinity, so this is actually not good. But Volfi's gonna heal, and they're gonna get rid of them in this fight. So not the end of the world, but I did mess up there a little bit in my pattern. That's what happens, you know. You're just doing something quickly, and you don't think much of it. Okay, 34 for Acronox. Not bad, not bad. And for the first two fights, I'm probably actually just going to have Acronox hold the Coward's Cloak anyway. Be more of a... I'm probably not going to use them for actual fighting yet, and just get them to soak up the damage, or soak up the experience from doing the battles. It's probably a better bet, but... Okay, well both can throw out a card now, so I probably will be fine here. Because it's pretty low, both can throw out a card. There it is. Yeah, see, stuff like that where it's just like, oh, that's not great. We're gonna release it. We'll just start earning our free tem money early. A little early for this week. But yeah, and then just the Lifeful Sap, make sure that Volfi will heal fully, and we just kind of keep going. That's where that lure combo with that comes into play. And there's also obviously the idea that until I get there, Acronox is going to be getting some levels because I'm going to be going through the desert and sort of thing. So, I mean, there is that sort of direction where I expect to be getting some leveling. It's just going to take a bit to get there. So that's we have a little grinding. You know, you get to see the grinding behind the scenes. Usually I'll have it where I have the I have this up on I have it up on one screen, and then the other screen I have like Magic Arena going or something else I'm working on, like a deck tech. Not working on a deck tech, but working on a deck list. Which I've actually been doing a lot more of, I'll be honest. I've been doing a lot more of looking at my decks for EDH Commander because we've wanted to get up on the website for a while. We wanted to make sure we have a list for everything, get up on the website, and so I've actually been going through and kind of documenting what's on the website, what's not, and I've been therefore doing a lot of the changes to my decks that I have been planning to do, because it's been a couple sets since I've reworked some of them, and there are some better cards I've been putting aside for things of that nature. Best example for those that might know of it, there is... we'll do the card, but if it doesn't work with that. I do have an enchantments deck. You may have seen me play it on Tap.mtg in the past. If not, I believe you could probably find it on the website when I played with way early back in the day. But there, of course, are new cards from Kaldheim that are runes, and they are cheap enchantments that draw you a card and give you something, and so it's just perfect for that deck because it just completely churns out the fact that you just start putting stuff on top of Tubasa or on top of whatever creature you're doing and getting all that value for the enchantment you're playing. So I have taken all three of them that are in the white, blue, green colors and set them aside to be put to the deck. I just haven't gotten around to actually putting them in yet, but who doesn't love trample on a very large enchanted thing, you know, so, you know, it's just little reworks like that. It's not like a rework of the deck. I mean, there are some of those that I do want to do at some point, but I have some deck types I want to make. I have reworks of decks that I want to do, so. But that's in the future. I was about to say when I have more time, but I mean, I'm probably never going to have time for it. It's just how much time I make for it. But, you know, as the summer comes in and my work gets less busy, you know, I'll have more mental mind share to do stuff on off nights, and maybe I'll end up doing a bit more of that. But for now, it's just every couple days getting a deck done, make sure it's in tapped out, it's complete. You know, that sort of thing is definitely very important. Especially because if we're, you know, which by the way, if anybody wants us to be on a stream, let us know. But definitely helps if we're gonna be on a stream because we can say, oh, here's a link to our deck list for this one. It's right online, you know, no work needed. So it's also nice because if you are someone who also has Tabletop Simulator by this point, even if you were a late bloomer like me and late to pick it up, a lot of the EDH and Commander tables that exist actually import deck lists from Tapped Out. And so if you have it in Tapped Out, you can actually import your deck lists and play virtually with people and go that route. So I definitely like to have them in there for that option and have them up to date so the deck will perform as I expect. But let's see. Oh, now they're all being shy. All the Dropleys are being very shy right now. Looks like this other person is also doing with a Kinu. The same thing that I'm doing, basically, just leveling up something. Hi, stream look fun. Want to drop by? What you hunt for? Hello. Now you might have to help me with how to pronounce your name. I want to say X-Min, but like in a very funky spelling of it, which I love, but I'm not sure I can say it. Perfect. X-Men? Haha! Now, obviously the next question is that, you know, the Marvel X-Men, kind of just a different spelling of it. Because if so, you're in very good company. More on Belmont's stream tomorrow night, probably. He's better with that kind of sort of comic book knowledge, but exactly. Oh, yes. Okay, I'm glad I'm catching on. This is a good stream for you, then. I'm going to catch on to that quickly. I'm not first person to guess the name and context. Oh, this is the right place for you then, because I don't feel special around here for that. But I'm glad I can help you feel welcome for sure. I'm Nick, by the way. I probably should mention that. I am one of the Triad gamers, the one with the cat if you go to the bottom of the screen on the left side. The cat will probably show up at some point, Ajani, but because Ajani or Liliana will probably show up. Liliana is usually more shy with it, but she sometimes goes in the cubby hole down here. What am I searching for? I'm not searching actually for anything today. I'm actually just basically farming Droply. Less for the attack TVs, well that's nice, but more so just to get my Earth team up to do the Shrine. Because I was a late adopter of playing TemTem, so I'm still working on Shrines at this point. I also obviously was doing it on streams, so like the streams have been kind of where a lot of my story have been. So I am planning on taking on the Earth Trine today, because I just finished up the story at the start of the stream, up until Sapanku, obviously. But I definitely wanted to get to Sapanku, like that point, so when it comes out in a month or so in the planning, then I'm all ready for it. So, are you searching for anything in particular in TemTem? I mean, I probably don't have it, but if I do, I'd love to help. I've been helped more than been of help around here. But I've tried, kind of thing. But it's just I'm still a late adopter to a lot of things, so there's not a whole lot that I have available to offer. Still got to get my team together for sorry, brain. Still got to get my team together for rematches. I still have the other 2 shrines and everything, so I'm doing the current late game content, as you would call it. So, but feel free to stay as long as you'd like. Feel free to check it, especially if you like other games. Other games we play like Stardew Valley. Belmont's playing Pillars of Eternity tomorrow night. If that's your jam, I have no idea what it is, but he seems excited, which is important. I got the game a year ago, but have been offline for a long time. Still big newbie. I have a Water 2 Kai, but didn't do the other shrines. Never did rematches. I might be able to learn from you. So we're about the same place. I don't know if you're gonna learn a lot from me. And I'm doing things. I think I'm doing things a little out of order because I think you're supposed to do the crystal, then water, then earth. But I'm just like, I have an earth team. I'm just gonna do it. So, no, I'm just getting in. 2 weeks ago on stream is just where I finished off the war portion of Kisua. I saw Max's fate, is how I'm gonna put it, and that sort of thing. So I just got to dailies. I just got to fishing at New Lodge. Just all of that stuff that came out last summer. Just got to that. But it's been pretty good to make sure I've been earning money. I have the house quest done. That's one I feel very well achieved on, is that I actually did get the house quest done and paid for. And so I do have a house on Atoll Row. Atoll Row. Well, for some reason that's weird to say. I don't know why. But yeah, so basically most of the stuff I'm looking at now is just, okay, how do I make a team that's good for all the rematches? And there's been a couple things online that I've looked at to kind of figure that out. Because rematches means Lumas at this point. That's kind of the way to do it. So that's kind of what I want to see. I want to get Lumas of ones that I like seeing. You know, if I like the Luma for it, it's going to be great. Yes, so doing a rematch gets you a radar. And a radar, I don't know if it has a better chance of getting a Luma, or if it's just you only see Tem of that type, and therefore, as you go up, your Luma chance get better. Yes, that's how you get radars. Is you have to do rematches. It's both a money earner, as well as you get the radar. Now, you don't get to choose what radar. Each one gives it randomly from a pool for each one. So, for Sophia is a good example. From what I've understood, I don't know her whole pool, but Sophia, you're going to see Water Tem and Wind Tem radars that are going to come from it. You won't get to pick which one you want, but you'll get one of the randomized ones. So, yeah, and I like the system. It makes sense in the way it works. It's a way for you to help even do better things with that. I mean, the Psy Park is okay, but it's still you're still gonna be grinding for finding a Luma, and you only can do it for 2 every other week basically. So, are they tradable? I don't actually know. That's a good question. I can look that up. I have the wiki up here, so let me check radars. TemTem radar. They're consumable items obtained through Dojo Leader. Rematches that increase Luma encounters and minimum single values. Oh, so the SVs actually are also get increased with it. That explains why everyone's so big on it. Let's see. Radars, whether in use or unused, expire at the weekly reset. Oh, so you only have the week to use them, which is interesting, because it's actually, from what I've seen, a fair amount of time put into them. So you kind of have to do them at that point. Radars allow for the chaining of radar encounters. Current chain progress is displayed. Defeating or capturing a TemTem in a radar encounter will continue and cumulatively increase the chain. The total chance of encountering at least one Luma over the course of the full 400 encounters is 15.6%. Fair enough, so it's like a 5 times chance. You can break the chain bags in it. Yeah, players may co-op to share and complete the radar together at any point in chain length. So that must be what you're talking about there with the... You can't trade them, but you can co-op. Yeah. Attempting to co-op with a spawn of the encounters will still prompt the radar holder whether they wish to randomly reset all overall encounter. I don't know what that all means. They're only obtainable through it. You may obtain up to 3 TemTem radars per week through rematches. The species have been assigned randomly upon receiving. Depending on chance, you may receive 2 or even 3 of the same species of radar in 1 week. Yeah, it doesn't look like you can trade them at all. I think it's kind of like side cards is really the way to do it. Is where it's just like, yeah, you can just get it for the week if you want, and then they just go away at the end. So yeah, I don't think it's tradable. I agree with your assessment, but you can co-op and complete it quicker. So like if it's kind of a thing where it's like, oh hey, I want to do it with a friend, we can both do ours at the same speed but quicker per se. I don't know. I have to get a team to be able to rematch, because having 8 Tem that are good enough to deal with max level dojo matches is, yeah, that's going to be a bit rough. Especially because I am not ready for competitive fights yet, so the fact that it's in a competitive format sort of style definitely makes me feel that I need to have at least a semblance of a good team. So far, I've just kind of been like, oh, this Tem's nice, and now I'm like, oh, I gotta actually care about what the values are. Like, oh, this looks nice because of 50, but it's really not that great. You know, that sort of editing of my Tems. So, but I will say dailies are nice though. Outside of rematches, do you have any interest in competitive? I think I will try competitive at some point. More probably as a joke on a stream of like, hey, if enough people like a tweet, I'll go and do competitive or something as a joke. But the way I've looked at it, it's something that it's more of those, you can do it, but there's not enough to really do currently. There's not enough matches to currently do without you having to be competitive, basically. So what I'm trying to say there, I've said a lot of words, but it's like my best example is in Magic the Gathering Arena, because that's what I play enough of. There is a ranked queue, and then there's a play queue. And yes, the play queue, it can have some competitive deck style things, but it's generally more fun. People are playing different deck types, that kind of thing. When you just have that competitive ranked queue, you only see the competitive nature, and you don't see a lot of variation. So I think that's kind of where... I think that's where I would try it, but I don't think I'm anywhere near being ready for it. Maybe once Sapanku comes out, because then everyone's meta has been thrown off, and so there's a good chance of me being good enough for a while, but probably not right away yet. Yeah, it's one of those things that I think until I'm really caught up with the big groups that, get to it, or if I join like a club maybe, and I kind of just get in a club where it's like, oh yeah, hey, here's what you need to do, and let's help you out to get to that area, Then I might, but more experimental comps in the metas. Yeah, exactly. I have more chance of messing with a weird comp when it's already up in chaos, Magic the Gathering. I go to Magic the Gathering a lot if it isn't shocking, but there's a new set coming out in a month. End of April, basically. When that happens, the standard meta is going to be absolutely nuts, and you can play with a lot of crazy stuff. But then, like, after a month or so, it kind of finds its slot, it may still shift, but it's kind of is very slow to shift, and so you're kind of like, well, you play there. That's where you play, or you find a way to defeat it. And there's not a whole lot of there's not as much diversity, just because it's hard to make that kind of diversity in games. So, but I have seen some cool combinations in the competitive stuff I've watched, which makes me really curious to try something like that, where it's this cool, funky comp, where it's not necessarily the best comp, but it does something cool, and that's kind of what I look for. But I mean, have you played a competitive game, I guess is the question, and how did it go? Because yeah, the pick ban strategy seemed really interesting to me too, just as someone who's come from like League of Legends watching pro play of League of Legends where they do pick ban stuff, and that kind of stuff looks really cool, and how just the game theory works in it. How you kind of psych your opponent into picking which ones you're okay with them banning versus you banning out the ones that would actually be good against you. Okay, we're almost to the spot of 36, which is what I wanted to get Acronox to. Oh, no, he's coming for you. That's definitely a your chair thing. Alex is also in the room, the one in the green hat below me. And Johnny, who's on my shoulder, he is apparently just climbing his chair over there, so. I've played a bit of League and Legends of Runeterra. Oh! Trust me, I've played Runeterra. You can go onto the trygamers.com. Yeah, I've played it on stream even. I'm not very good. I shouldn't say I'm not very good. I haven't invested the time to be good at Legends of Runeterra. But I pick it up every so often. I really should play it more consistently to actually get enough cards to be good enough at it, but huge fan of Saucy Mailman, I will say. I'll actually shout them out if you want a cool Legends of Runeterra streamer. I know, I'm talking about other streamers on my stream, but like Saucy Mailman is pretty cool. He actually streams at different times than us now. So I'm actually kind of okay doing this and feel a little better about like, hey, by the way, because he's a full-time streamer now. He just became full-time, but he's really fun. He does some cool deck lists and things. So I've really liked to see his deck lists, and that's kind of got me back into it when I do get into it. I think I've just been playing Magic for so long, it's hard to stop playing it. At some point, I'll probably just get sick of the chase and say, who cares, and just passively play it, but I think there almost needs to be like a queue that I really like that doesn't rotate, and then I might, but for now, probably not. But Runeterra is definitely very fun when I pick it up every so often. I'm not very good about keeping up with, at this point, TemTem, and Magic Arena, and Legends of Runeterra, and wanting to play Stardew, which means I just don't have enough time. Oh, yeah, the lore of the cards are wonderful. Like, I think I've read more lore in Legends of Runeterra than I ever have in League of Legends. Like, the amount of lore I've learned just from that, from the cards, is crazy. And the fact they just keep going into it more and more. I mean, I'm very happy that they're not like trying to retcon it into a different world or something, because it's not that I didn't like that about Valorant, where it's just like, oh, here's this world that's not really the same. It's the same setting technically, but it's really different things happening. It's kind of like, oh, so it's just a different game then. But like here, it's like, oh no, it's the same game. Thing I always enjoy was because I was playing it I started playing it with the Bilgewater when it released, and just seeing Yone in the game and then looking at League like, wait, Yone? I know Yone. That's the card over there. You know, like actually the fact that they started something in Runeterra that then went into League is actually really cool. I am very excited for their other projects too that they talked about in their 10-year. I do think that it's gonna be really cool what they do with stuff. So, yes, we are a Riot fan group around here. So, yeah, Johnny's just perching over there. He's also staring at me like, why aren't you petting me? And I'm like, you're across the room, silly kitty. Like, if you want pets, you can come over here. I'm sure the audience would love that, so. Yeah, the voice lines are also crazy. Although, I have seen the trend recently, and I can't disagree with it, but some of the level up animations that they've done recently are so spectacular that it makes like Teemo and it makes what's another good one that's like not as flashy. Trying to remember some of the newer ones, where it's just like some of the early ones that just aren't as flashy look really bad in comparison now. And I really hope they rework them as I go, now that they've kind of gotten their stride and understood what their particular kind of flavor is. But yeah, when you actually look at Teemo's level up animation next to others, it's kind of like, oh, yeah, that's a level up animation, I guess. So, but I think that's just because that was one of the first ones, probably. So they just have to go back and rework it a little bit at some point. It'd actually be really cool to rework it like at an event, and then the event basically not unlocks it, but like the event happens, which causes the lore to go to the point where Teemo looks like this now, or something. I mean, they're cycling through all of the all of the regions at this point, so might as well. Yeah, I think the thing I liked with Runeterra the most was just it's a card game where you have even resources. Like you're playing basic, you know, it's not like there's a ton of different card types that you see with the regions. So like, oh, here's your region, here's the types that you can play, kind of thing. But also, you're getting generally the same mana unless you pull off a ramp deck really well. Generally the same mana every turn with what you're doing. You know, it's all about the push and pull and kind of that. Whereas like in Magic, it's more of like, okay, what can I do in my turn to gain an advantage over you? And then you get your chance to do it. Whereas here it's just like, oh yeah, what's going to happen during this turn? Who knows? Because everyone's going to be playing stuff. And you get the same mana to do the same things, just depending on how you use it. So I do enjoy it, kind of. That's my fun game for when I get fed up with Magic, is the best way to put it. I get fed up with Magic the Gathering, and so I go and I do that. Okay, we did hit level 36 amongst my rambling. So I didn't play Magic that's way beyond me. I like the abilities of up with League, like Darius level is just grab. Oh yeah, completely. Magic is really just like, I could talk about it, but playing Runeterra, you know, like 85% of what Magic the Gathering is. The scary part of Magic the Gathering, and what is usually the intimidation point, which is completely understandable, is just the years of Magic that already exists. Like, Runeterra is much more accessible right now because you only have, what, 2 years of cards at this point, I think, with the beta. Whereas for Magic the Gathering, you're looking at over 25 years at this point. I mean, almost 30 years, I think, at this point. We gotta be close to that. Gotta be coming up on 30. So, I mean, you're maybe even longer than that. But you're looking at a very long history where a lot of game modes, especially like I played Commander, is like there's gonna be random cards you've never seen before. They're gonna come out of nowhere. Like there's no way to know all the cards. There's no way to go that direction, to know all the different combinations and things. So that's kind of the intimidation. It's also the rotation. I mean, Magic, because it's been going so long, has a rotating format of, okay, here's new cards. You can only play with these new cards. Whereas Runeterra hasn't been going long enough where there's a rotation. I'm actually hoping, because they haven't done it yet, there'll never be a rotation, but I also know that there could be. I could definitely see them doing a rotation at some point when they have too many cards. But, okay. Yeah, let's go and do this battle. We'll see how this goes. I'm not necessarily confident, but at this point, I think we just have to go for what we need to do and hope for the best. Yeah, we'll just do this. What if we do like both of the? No, we should do the Volphy. Like, I should be leveling things. It's the smart thing to do, but. Trial and error, right? Yeah. I mean, I almost at the point where I'm like, I'm getting enough money from dailies. I'm getting enough money-ish from free tem. Like, I'm not worried about making money quickly. If I lose, fair enough. You know, I'm gonna lose some Pansuns, and it's gonna be a lesson learned. I'm not exactly too worried about it. So, you know, I'd rather try for it and learn that I'm not ready, rather than just sit back and be like, well, I need to level for 10 more levels of this thing before I feel comfortable, you know? No, I'd rather get it moving. So yeah, we gotta go all the way down there. Which, maybe we'll do a wishy well. Why not? Let's do the well on the way, because I always like just doing them. I have some coins from the dailies, so I might as well just do it. See what we get. Just money. Someone was saying, they're like, yeah, with all the stuff you can get other than money, it's great. And I'm like, I have not gotten anything other than money since the random one I did, I think, back in the volcano. Like, I just am not getting them at all. Yeah, sometimes it's just money, and that wasn't even a good amount of money, in fairness. So, I was willing to, like, I was like, hey, I'll give you a couple of these for, like, a Tem at one point. And they're like, that's like way more value than the Tem I'm giving you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, those are worth like 2,000 to 3,000. And I'm like, well, I've only ever gotten like up to 1,000 in Panzons out of it, so I don't know what you're talking about. But it's because you can get the pheromones, which the pheromones are a fairly good amount of money, and it's because you can get clothing items that you can't get necessarily, or dyes or things. So, I mean, that's why it has value, but. I have not seen good results from them, and maybe that's just because I have to rework it and balance it out. I mean, they've definitely talked about the fact that there needs to be a bit of balancing, so maybe that's something that needs to happen. I always forget that actually, because I haven't had it where it like just partially injures on it. It's always just like nuked them. So, oh, it says the lure on. Whoopsies, forgot about that. So I need to switch you then to Nidrasil probably, and then do this. Yeah, I think we'll get there. We'll take a short break, and then I'll jump into the Earth Trine. Oh, Volfi, you're getting a little injured there. Oh my. Maybe I need to go all the way down to Uppanzani, heal, and then come back up since I've gone a bit of far away. I don't know. It's not really a good option anymore, unfortunately, because they're all Earth type, so... Yeah, I think getting there, because then I can use a smoke bomb to go back if I ever need to. It's really bad. Yeah, it's not going to do much, and it's probably going to just overexert them a lot. I guess I can attempt to catch and bring back in the Osukai, who has the four-leaf, or the lucky clover? Four-leaf clover? Four-leaf clover, there we go. Might as well just keep thinking about free Tem, you know? Yeah, definitely free Tem. That's a lot of red there. It's an evolved form. It'll get me some good money. Yeah, Volfi's gonna go away for a little bit while it heals. And we'll just keep going. Yeah, the Skunches are gonna be the issue in this cave, is the problem. This is why I wasn't actually doing much in this cave, because the Skunches were just messing me up. Yeah, four-leaf, yep. Yeah, it's one of those remembering things is not my strong point. But I make everyone feel very smart that comes to the stream, and that's the important part. Scale is my favorite Tem, the unevolvable scavenger. Oh, that is completely fair. And actually, a lot of people talk about... I don't know if it's Scale or Skunch for doing the, one of the 8 that you have for your, like, every rematch team. I should look it up. I have it saved here. I should just look up what that is. See if I can kind of mention him on stream a bit. But yeah, one I had found which seemed really well together was like, here's why you need this Tem and this one and this one. But yeah, Skunch was like the top slot. Like, yep, have a Skunch. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's not what I would have expected, but I mean, because that's basically like saying, you know, you go to Pokemon, it's like, oh, have Eradicate for sure. And I'm like, what? Are you sure? Like, okay. Yeah, I mean they have it where it's like you have to have the very high, like at least all green, if not, some of it perfect kind of thing to really do this kind of team. But yeah, it's the idea of it's a lot of the ones that are the neutral ones, I think, because then you don't have the type issues. You just get a really tanky, good Tem. So you have Skunch, Malflank, Kinu, which makes sense if you have kind of one with Benefactor that's going to heal things. Nidrisol, which I understand because that's just I've always loved Nidrisol, as that's probably one of my more favorites, Orphle and Nidrisol. Ukama, which not shocking, fast speed, that kind of thing. Then having some sort of fire, so Raikan, Fire Koish, or Kapire. I probably would want to go Raikan if you have that one where it's like a Tem goes down and it heals or buffs itself up. Slot 7 is Yowler, Momo, or Valash. I'm a big fan of Momo because I think Momo's adorable. But everyone's like, Valash if you want to get into PMP, or PvP, Yowler if you're struggling with the dojers, which I get because Yowler's pretty good. And then having a Volphy, a Serneef, or they recommended an anaerobic Volorend for the last spot. So, more about Nidrisol. Nidrisol is the evolved form of Orphle. That's this one right here, actually. I like it just because the nature toxic combination makes it actually, like you have fire and wind, and that's kind of what you're against. But at the same time, you can get like the coat, for instance, to stop your wind or kind of thing, or you can get really tanky. But it's just the abilities they have are, especially we can get things that. It's not toxic for all. I actually have the bad one. It's let me look up the other one. Technically, there's a better one. I shouldn't say bad. There's no bad abilities in this game, but there are ones that are more highly prized, I should say. Did I pass it? I probably totally passed them. Where'd they go? Why can I not see you? I am okay. One more pass, and I'll just search. But like, I should see them. There they are. Oh, because they're against 2. So, Nidrisol, what most people look at is try Apothecary. So I didn't have the Apothecary one, but the reason why they like try Apothecary is that you can poison something for 3 turns or regenerate something for 3 turns when you attack with a special technique. So you can attack with something that doesn't do much damage, and basically just start healing someone else. So I think that's why that one's so prized. But Toxic for Well is just a strong thing, so then if the Tem goes down, it's pretty good. Toxic Affinity is really good for the Orphle as it's leveling, though, because your Toxic Fangs get really, really, really strong. That carried me for a lot. I was lucky to get one on the first island. Just I was streaming, and someone's like, hey, do you want one? I'm like, oh, I'll totally take that. That seems awesome for the first island to have a toxic in nature Tem against all the water Tems. So that's kind of a big one where it's pretty good. But like the reason is like Allergic Spread, for instance, is a special move. So you can poison both of the rival Tems at once for 3 turns, and that's really good. Like you could put Hallucinations, for instance, on a Tem. Now, yeah, it's not great to put on one, but if they start regenerating for 3 turns, that's probably not bad. I think, Hypnosis, you can put one to sleep, worst case, if you want, or like one that is caffeinated would be. I don't know if that counts as attacking because it doesn't do damage, but Spores is pretty cheap. That's kind of one that you could do. So yeah, Nidrisol is a very interesting Tem because it's something that I liked a lot and then it was actually good, and I'm just confused by that because usually what I like and what's good is not a general combination. So. It just is. It's always been that way for me in Pokemon. It's just like I'm like I love this Tem. They're like, yeah, that really doesn't make sense if you're gonna do good things with your Tem. And I'm like, or with your Pokemon, and I'm like, oh, but I like them. Why does that matter? So, yeah, because I can kind of show what I have going on in here. I obviously have my just free Tem bunch of stuff, which I just realized for some reason that I have stuff missing still. I have some Tem that I've been playing around with over here. We got Momo, it's just adorable. I have my Crystal team started, which is not great right now. I have what I'm about to do, which is my complete Earth team here. And then I have my Water team going, that's where I need the Platypet evolved. I don't actually know that name, so this is not my Tem. Funny story. in stream we had been talking about. There's someone who was chatting with me, and they were talking about how like nobody uses the trading locally on the chat. So like you have the chat trade here, right? And like generally people weren't using the local to actually trade or anything. It was just like always in trade, and it's always like big stuff, and it wasn't a thing. But like randomly when I was happened to be on the server. I think it was near the end of our stream. I can't remember which stream it was on. You have to go back and find it. But we basically we had been talking earlier about how like nobody chats on local or anything, and somebody was chatting on local looking for a what was it? I think it was a male Tateru. Yeah, male Tateru because this is the female. Male Tateru with a certain 50, and like, hey, I have a high-speed Momo to trade for it. And I'm like, oh, I don't even know what Momo is. That sounds great. And no joke, Momo is an adorable husky that was actually created by one of the backers who got to create a Tem. Here, let me just go and show. But Momo is so cute. It like has the almost like ponytail hair braid, and it's great. Yes, it is a doggo. It has heterochromia. It is goofy and adorable, and I love it. Oh, so fun. So, like, I just randomly got this dropped on me one stream. I was like, what the hell? But the reason why this one's so big that people like this is Stab Master. So basically, they have a really good neutral move, and increasing that damage by 50% is crazy good, and that's why the speed is up so high. But yeah, it's pretty good because yeah, like I said, they have they're in here. The move at 50 that they get is called Undermine, and it drops their special attack. It's 145. You then get the extra 50%, and then if you have some good attack or something. This one did not. It was just meant there for the breeding that they were doing. But as you see, it doesn't learn many moves, but it's like, yeah, it's a fun one, and I enjoy it. But yeah, and then there's Yala they're talking about, which is this one. This one actually, I can't remember if I caught this one. I had to have, because I didn't breed it. So I just randomly caught a double 50 in the wild with mostly green. I'm like, I'm just going to take it. That seems good. So that's why this Yowler actually might become the one that just goes in that team that I was talking about first. It might just be the one I'm like, you know what? This is good enough for it. Yeah, this was a random catch. It's kind of like my Dropley, the one I was talking about, where like I was training and I just happened to catch this. And I'm like, cool. So a lot of that. Yeah, it's just funny when you do that. You're like, I'm doing free time, and then you go to release. You're like, wait a second, this one's actually good. That's not supposed to be good. So you can actually see I've saved a lot of them. Most of them are just ones that are bad, but I just didn't want to release them in a week until I could go in. So I just need to sort through them. But got my Koishas going. You can see I got 7 of them so far. I need to catch one of the neutral ones from this week because I don't have a neutral type yet. I got my general box of like, they're all right. I got my box of like good stats, I'd say. I actually, my first purchase from kind of the TemTem economy in the Discord was this 2i because I couldn't imagine why someone would be selling something like this, and I'm like, oh, because they have way better things than this. But this is gonna be. I have to figure out which 2i I actually want to be my best, and then I'm gonna do this. Resilient. It depends on the Tem. So let's see. Let me look up the stats. 2i. So it turns into Hydrologist for 2kai, which is not what people like. They like Spreader, where it makes everything damage both. Yeah, it deals less damage, but it hits both rivals, basically. So people like that generally more than... Hydrologist is good because it ups water, but... then it turns into Determined for 2vine. So stats can never be decreased. Again, alright, but not crazy. But then Turok is Tactical Strike, so this might actually become my Turok, because I'm already here. Whenever a TemTem with a Tactical Strike attacks with a technique of hold of 1 or more, it deals 15% more damage. So it's meant to kind of hold stuff. I don't think Escapist is crazy good, because it just means you can't get trapped. So probably this will become my Turok, honestly, just based on the ability. Hydrologist wouldn't suck, but it's not the best for kind of what it is. I also have my a random 2vi over here that I had bred just to have another 2vi. or 2Y. Because the idea is that between these two and then my other 2Y that I got at the beginning, I'm just going to get the Tems for these things. I'm just going to go ahead and get all 3 of the Tems for the Tempedia. It might not be that they're good, but I just want to have them. Because you can always go and catch more, worst case. Or buy them, because people are breeding them like crazy and selling them for cheap like this, so. Yeah, because here's just kind of general ones I've seen. A lot of them are like, they were just good in Sci Park for one point. And this is a little rough because it's small, but maybe that might be my Ukama eventually. Pyko is a pretty good one. I enjoyed this one. This was an egg I think I got from FreeTem. Or not FreeTem, for the dailies. That wasn't too bad, so I was like, yeah, maybe. Then the 2i. I just have some general okay ones sitting around, so like, you know what? Why not? And then I just have mine down here that were like ones I was doing. This Kinu was the 50/50, which was like, maybe I'll breed Kinu now that I have that. And it's like, probably not. Which actually, why is that over there now I think of it? That should be over here, because I'm keeping the double and the 50s in case I ever wanted to go ahead and try breeding a perfect. Do I have a benefactor? I do have a benefactor one. I think it's this one. No, this is protector. Wait. Don't think I have benefact. Wait. No, protector is the one I generally use. Yeah, protector plus baton pass. I don't think I have a benefactor one. No. I'm sure you could find one very easily on, as I've seen with the money. You can buy one very easily if you get money, but I'll probably go back and try to. That might actually be one I try to get a very good Tem of, just because one, it's on the team for the rematch team that I want to get, but I have to look at which one it is. I think it had Protector in the team, the one they were talking about, just because of the ability with Baton Pass to basically just give something defense and special defense every time Kinu comes in, but I don't know. So we have our Earth team. Let's go and, well, actually let's check moves. This is the one thing I haven't done is check the moves to make sure that things are right and what I need. Yeah, this is probably the best to trap things in, yeah. These are the only moves that Dropley has as of right now. These are probably best because this is just going to help Volphy for like one turn, even though it's going to bring up special defense a lot. Oop. I don't know if Dust Vortex makes sense here though, so I might switch in Chain Heal, because obviously we're going to have a bunch of Earth. I would want to change it back in, I think, later, but and this one, I think I just changed it to all neutral. That's why I gave it the resistance badge, because it'll be stronger. Do you want, and I have a green one with benefactor. Let me check the group. I obviously will never have a problem with saying, yes, I'd love a Tem, but I like to kind of make sure I could reciprocate in some way of like, here's what it is. But yeah, they have Protector in the one for that team, because like I said, I think it's just something with the I think there's something with just the fact that it gets that extra bonus stats plus the baton pass is why it has it that way. I feel like that if there was a nature or mental shrine, which there probably will be in the future, I think that would be better, because then obviously Kinu's just really good. But I'll probably pass for now, because I don't think there's a whole lot of, I don't have a whole lot of use for it at this point. But thanks for the offer though. Like I said, you probably could get a few thousand on the for that on the Discord, because people are always looking for all green stuff just to have or to use for breeding or something. So yeah, I don't think, yeah, that was 20, which didn't seem worth it for 55. Yeah, Stampede will always be really good. Execution was a way to get rid of things that are really strong, and I can't kill them very quickly. Yeah, I think that one's pretty good. Size Munch, I think this made the most sense to get extra attack. Maybe Inner Spirit is better than this right now, just because Inner Spirit's going to be a really good melee move to hit something off. I got it for cheap. I was going to give it to a friend who didn't end up playing. Oh, well, I mean, just keep it along. You know, we might have, especially I mean, there might be people in this stream who join in. I know there's a couple people who are looking for it. Recipe Kitten, hello! Sounds like the puppy pile was good tonight then, if you're late. But yeah, I'd say X-Men just, I would keep it around. I mean, I definitely accept it a lot. What I would do is actually, and this is what I've seen others do, and I want to get to that point eventually, is just jump into a TemTem stream with someone just starting, and that's, I think, where it'd be amazing. Is like, when you're on Denise, there's not a lot of Tem that you can use, really in that area, and I think having a Kinu would be crazy good at that level, just like having a Nidrasil was crazy good. Because you only really have Gonki and whatever toxic moves you can get out of the Nature Gem that you happen to find. So I think that's honestly probably the better way to go, is someone who's over there. But I'm at the point kind of where I'm like, yeah, it's not. I mean, I like it, but I feel like your philanthropy would be better suited elsewhere. Because I'm probably just gonna go buy stuff because I have the ability to go and do dailies and such and not worry about money. But yeah, Size Munch, and then Acronox wants all of that for sure. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and change it to the Shuien's Horn to make these all water type. Once I kind of get to that point. So we will head back in then. I think to get there, I'm going to use Tem that are going to get rid of things really quickly. So for right now, that makes the most sense, I think. We got a little ways to go to get to the Earth Trine. Oh, I do have a kitty circling though, so we might have kitty time coming up here. Is it kitty time? He's a little hyper still, I think, so I'm not sure if he's quite... Oh, no, I think we have some kitty time, so let's just stay in the dark here. I'll transition my screen, and he'll just come up and cuddle. Yeah, come up here. You got someone new to meet. Yeah, come up here. Thank you. Oh, this is a Johnny. This is our orange kitty. He'll probably attack my face here in a little bit because I have a microphone. Yes, he's one of our two fur babies. We have a Johnny here, and then we have Liliana, who is more of the skitch one. But like I said, she might show up in here and stream sometimes. You'll kind of see her in the corner. She rarely jumps on my lap, at least. They have favorites, as you'd expect, but... Oh, are you just going to sit on my lap like that? Okay, that's bizarre. Usually he's laying across me and wants attention, but maybe I've been petting him enough now, so he's just gonna... He might appear at some point, but I'll kind of just go ahead and... Yeah, do you want to come up here? I got the camera ready and everything for you to do it. No, he's just nice and calm and what... So yeah, oh, hi. This is where Belmont always talks, so I'm going to look crazy because I'm just talking down in my lap and with a cute voice. But those that have kitties know you talk cute to them because that's what you do. Yeah, do you want to come up here? Come up here. Yeah, come up here. Come up here. Yeah, come up here. You're almost there. You've almost figured it out. No, okay, well, fine. I'll do it then. Come on. Come up here. Come up here. Oh, there you go. There's the baby. Hi. See? Your audience wanted to see you. They were requesting. Yeah, he is the Pinky on the Pinky and the Brain scale for our two kitties. He's definitely the Floof. He's the Chonker. He's that role, for sure. He's very pretty. And oh, yeah. Go for it. Feel free to lurk. I'll probably have some kitty time for a bit, and yeah. Hi. Yeah, oh, you're so tired. Did you go and have some food? Is that why? You're having a food coma now? I understand that feeling. Yeah. Hi. Oh. Yeah. Oh, oh. Are you hearing Alex's computer make noises? Is that why you're making that face? Yeah. Is that why you're making that face? Yeah. That's why it's always difficult to take breaks, because he'll just come up and make me take a break, and I'm like, well, now do I get up? Because now I've just spent time talking to a Johnny for a while. Yeah. Let's go ahead and mark this though, so I remember to put this in highlights, 'cause that's important. There we go. Hi. Oh, is there a bug up there, or are you just hearing noises? Because it is getting... Before the snow today, the snow you would not think so, but before the snow it was definitely warm enough to have some bugs wake up, so they've had some pouncing to do. Hi. Hi, dear. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, oh. Your tail is just a going though. You think you see something. I don't know what you see, but you think you see or hear something. Yeah. Should we put you down in the lap again? Is that what you want? Yeah. Nope. I gotcha. You're good. I gotcha. We're just gonna put you right down. Oh. Hey, we're not playing. Yeah, you got me good there for a second. He's a little feisty right now. You know how it goes. They can be feisty. Just making sure I'm not bleeding. No, I'm good. I'm not bleeding on stream. That's important. No, it's okay. It's okay. You're just gonna sit down there for a little bit. No, you're not letting me pet you. You already made. No, maybe you did make me bleed. Holy crap. No, we're not playing. I'm gonna go and yeah, you go play. Go play with your sister. You go play with your sister. Or you go see what Alex is doing. One of the two. One sec. Let me grab this. Ugh. Yeah, I don't think I'm bleeding, but just in case, I'm gonna put this here so I'm not like bleeding all over the desk. Because he got like right on my left hand across it. So yeah, those that deal with the kitties, you know how it goes. Okay, I don't remember how to get through this, so this might take a bit. I think you go up. I went through it already to get to the area, so I already know how to get there, I think. Did I go the right way? The fact that I didn't encounter anything that hallway was kind of cool. Okay, so let's actually make the team that I want to make now. So I may cheat a little bit, just a little, just to see what's first. So let's do this. Yeah, let's just do this. Why not? Yeah, and then let's go ahead. Because if we lose this one, that's not the end of the world, so I'm okay doing that first. But we are going to go ahead. Oh no, I actually said that's right. I wanted to leave Acronox out so they could just get the experience in the first couple battles, which is great. So they could be better off later. So we're instead going to just go with... yeah, this actually seems fine. I think this is okay, just to kind of go in like this. Not yet. Okay, so I have to battle these ones is what it's trying to tell me. Well, here we go. First battle. Oh, let me go ahead and kind of do this over here so I can see it more easily. Oh, a little bit further. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, a young Buana arrives. Pray, take a moment to pay your respects to the first hearth. This is the resting place of Aisha, the mother. May it bring you peace and inspiration, traveler. Perhaps 100,000 years ago in this cave lived a woman from whom the whole archipelago is descended. We revere the origin of humanity here. Here the first fire was lit, and the first human was born, and the first TemTem was tamed. According to tradition, Aisha first made fire, and then gave birth and sealed the pact between TemTem and human. She's buried behind the inner sanctum. She's simply the mother to our Kisawan tradition, the mitochondrial matriarch, in the words of modern science. In short, the matrilineal ancestor of all humans, your grandmother to the nth degree and mine and everyone's. Am I allowed in here? Of course you are. Every well-meaning person is. Welcome to the first hearth, the ancestral home of every human. In a time like this, it's good to remember we all come from the same noble lineage. Kisawans, denizens, Tukmani, Arborians, Sapanki, and Mir Island. That's the one I can... Mir Islands. Mir Islands. Yeah, we'll go with Mir Islands. Or Mir Islands. Mir Islands? Mir Islands? I don't know. That one's the one I always struggle with. We are one people under the high above. Our way to celebrate the mother is to only use Earth TemTem, friend, and since they were the first to be tamed here. TemTem up, then. I brought in a whole Earth team. Let's see what we can do. Okay. Ion. Yeah, he did get me a little bit. There's a little bit coming up. Okay. I'm going to destroy Bun Bun, so I might as well start with that. Like, I have a melee move that's going to take down the Bun Bun. Oof. Oop, that's an Osekai direction. Let's do that. Actually, that's not going to be that good over there, is it? So we'll do that. And... oh, let's see if I survive whatever they're going to do. Oh my gosh, one! I love it. Perfect. I probably should have swapped. Oh, head ram went that way. I actually got really lucky there. Oh my. Oh, that was a little lucky. Just a little bit. Okay, yeah, they have the energy reserves. I really need to get Dropley out now. Let's swap you to... oh, I'll just do the Rolder. I think that's pretty good because there's no really good type advantages or anything that they have over it, so... just a big tanky one. And maybe the Size Munch or something. If I go to Volf, I can go to Volfy if I gore the Acronox. Because the Volfy is not going to take much damage from Crumble, so. Nice. We're probably going to be healing in between each of these fights, though, I'm going to be honest. Let's go ahead and Sharp Leaf, but let's switch to... actually, we're pretty good on stuff there, so... let's... wait. Oh, Stampede's going to overexert. We don't want that. Yeah, that was the only issues. I've had some very rough shakes with the stamina TVs for these team. So the Ancestors Guide to you. Thank you. Oh, so then they kneel. That's interesting. Let's grab the vial. Do a quick heal there. Okay, so we definitely don't want you out for the next one. Or maybe we do. Maybe we do. Yeah. Let's go for it. It can't hurt. We're healed up. Yeah, we're probably gonna smoke bomb back at this point though. Because we're gonna need to do that before the next one. There's 3 50+ Tems, so. I think I wanna get rid of you first. Because I'm not as worried about the fire type. Yeah. Oh, that's a little scarier than I remember, though. But I'm like, getting rid of the Grumper might not be bad. Now, thankfully it doesn't do that much to Droply, and that actually really hurt itself, so... Let's go all out and get rid of the Drakash. Oh, or that will get rid of the Drakash just fine. That's fine too. Cool, that cleared the team, so... Earth Trine, yep. Doing the Earth Trine. All the Earth. It has a lot of earthy undertones, as I was putting in the hashtag. Yep, I'm trying it out. We're gonna see how this goes. I might just want to do a clay ball over there. That might be smarter. Cause yeah. Cause I think Osakai is gonna be taken out here in a second. To switch for probably just Rolder makes the most sense, and then we'll do an Aqua Stone onto Velour. Yeah, it's gonna hit Rolder for pretty good hit. But I'm also gonna do it to Velour, so that's fine. And then might as well... Yeah, let's just go for it. Yeah, I'm like, I have a pretty good setup for my moves once I get Rolder out, so... I might just be able to heal them. I only really had a couple Tems get hits. Yeah, maybe I'll just do heals here. That way I can kind of do something else. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Okay, next one. We're definitely bringing this out. We have to get rid of one very quickly. Yeah, so let's bring out this team. Oh, they have the Volphy, the next one. So, I may be cheating a little bit, I'm understanding. But to be fair, I'm like, at this point, I'm on the stream. I want to make it look kind of nice, so I'm gonna, you know, stack the deck a little bit towards me. But yeah, we're gonna get rid of Volphy here. We can't deal with a Volphy. Oh, that's Plague, that's Plague. Oof. Volphy is the one thing I was not gonna be happy to see, but there's not really a whole lot you can do about it right now, so... I think I'm gonna be okay though, because Volphy's gonna get down low enough. Osakai was kind of the, well, nice knowing you kind of thing. So, we'll bring out our own Volphy. We'll do a Martial Strike quick on there, and then we'll do a Plague onto there. Wow, Plague is just so quick. It's, ugh. I don't care if the last one's supposed to be the challenging one. It doesn't have a Volphy. Like, this is the challenging one. This is the one that hurts. Stone Ball to Volphy. I'm okay with that. That shouldn't do too much. Oh, it overexerted because of the Exhausted that I put on it. That's cool. Yeah, exactly. I'm very much of the... I'm still having fun playing it. You know, I'm actually getting past these areas where I don't feel like it's... I won't say I don't feel like it's as fun, because it's definitely fun here, but I'm definitely feeling like I'm at the point now of the end game where, like I did in Guild Wars 2, because I played a fair amount of Guild Wars 2 when I was in school. I've gotten to the point now in my head of this game where it's like, okay, I'm not gonna know where to do that random jumping puzzle into that special item thing that I need, so I'm gonna look it up. Someone else has already figured it out. There's no reason for me to do something someone else has already figured out. So, the thing that gets a little funky is obviously the later you go in this game, the wiki isn't always that complete, and so I kind of have run into points from like, I don't know what to do with this. So that's the fun part. We still have those moments, but okay, I definitely need to go back though because I now have a Tem down. I have a Tem almost down. So we're gonna go ahead. We're just gonna use a smoke bomb to make it easier. I got enough of them, so. And then we have one more battle. And that will be it. Acronox really did not level up that much, funny enough, so it might just be something we put out at the beginning to understand it's probably going to go down pretty quickly, but if it can get poison on a couple things, even with a water move, that'd be really cool. So, we'll still keep it there just in case it gets something on the way there, but let's go do this. It's 5 level 48s. I have an average team probably of about 47, so, but it's very varied. So we'll see how this goes. I was gonna say, it's like it knows I'm going to the shrine. It's not having me fight anything, and then it's like, oh, now I'm oh, I gotta run. I can't have this gun right now. I guess it doesn't matter. I do have a Temessence vial to use when I get there, but I'm just gonna run away from stuff. It's one of those things where I just feel like I need to... Oh, come on. Now I'm gonna get a ton of battles on the way there that are gonna bug me. I guess I can deal with these, so it does get some extra level experience, possibly. Actually, Plague makes more sense there and Uppercut there. Because, yeah, Size Munch is already max level, so that's not happening at this point, but it can help level up the others, at least. Yeah, see, Acronox is a good chance of hitting level 38 soon, but... I know this is such great content with how dark it is, I'm sure. Like, that's just like, yep, it's always going to be dark. There's no way to fix this. It's always going to be dark for you. I'm actually wondering if there's, like, glowing clothing or something that you can get in Sapanku that's supposed to make this easier to find. Because that would be really funny if so. I would absolutely enjoy the hell of that. Oh yeah, it's a completely chill stream. Technically, the original name of this type of stream was Cute and Chill, because we were just saying blank and chill basically for all of our streams for a while, where it was Belmont and Chill, and it was Cute and Chill, and it was like, eventually we kind of just stopped using them for like everything's and chill, so it's kind of a little too crazy, but we still have our lazy Sunday afternoon Minecraft. Well, Minecraft and Stardew Valley at this point, so that's kind of where we do still have some sort of kind of chill in the name sort of thing. I did it the wrong way, didn't I? Yeah, it didn't matter, but I definitely did that the wrong way in terms of levels. So, yeah, I mean, the way we're going, we might just have it where... No, it didn't. I was like, we might just have it where it levels up. Nope. Okay, so we're going to pull this in front, and we're going to give it specifically the Shuin's Horn to give it a water type basis. So these are now, will act as if they are water, basically. What is the other one we want in front? Droply probably, no, Droply we don't want in front. We want Volphy in front, I think, actually, because they have all the fire. So yeah, we might just do this arrangement right here. Because Volphy's going to be better in the top half than the back half, so. See, this is where my brain wants to save, because I'm so used to Pokemon. We're like, save before it! And it's like, yeah, you don't have that option. You just are going to die if you're bad. Oh, I did feel a kitty. There's a Liliana now up here, behind me. She's making her biscuits in the blanket. So Sting onto... Let's do it onto Corrin. Which, again, feels weird, but it's going to be water. It's not going to be actually what it looks like. Yeah, the Ostakai is almost gone. That's actually already pretty good. But yeah, Shuin's Horn's going to make this water, but it's also going to poison them, which is why it's, like, bizarre. So. Oh yeah, Shuin's Horn. I'm like, when I saw that item, I wanted to use it somewhere, and when I realized that I had that option here because I got the Acronox, I was like, I need this. See this? I think this also... Yeah, this also hits, I think, Volphy. I don't know if I want that. I guess Volphy wouldn't take too much damage from it, but I'm like, I don't think I want to do that. So we're just going to keep hitting Corrin, and we're going to do a quick sharp. Actually, let me do the sting here, and then Lifeful Sap on Volphy to keep Volphy up. Because then that gets rid of Osakai. Osakai had an umbrella, holy crap. I didn't even realize that. And then Corrin's healing doesn't do too much. Okay, I gave Dropley the drill. I was like, who has the drill to get through that? I don't remember. Oof, that was some good levels though. That was some really good leveling. Oh, never mind. I can't. Oh, I can't do myself with that. Uh-oh, that's actually not as good as I thought it was. Let's get. I can still probably get rid of the Mudrid with my plague and everything. So let's go for it. Again, Volphy's going to be a little odd to have out here in a little bit, so we might as well get our use out of these two before it's a little too late. Because Acronox is going to go away now. Yeah, actually it's going to be knocked out, but still. Well, Volphy got to level 50 now, so that's fun. I know full well that they're coming out with fire stuff, so we're going to bring Dropley out. Also, Dropley can get past the drills, so that's why that's actually kind of good. But and I think we're just going to go ahead and switch Volphy, because Volphy's still going to be healing, which will be kind of nice. So I think if we switch to Roller, it's going to make the most sense here. We're doing okay. We're up on Tem, which is the important part. We have 1 down, they have 2 down. Oh, heat up. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Oh, I love drills so much. I can just break through it. I'm like, nope, no more of that. We're gonna go Aquastone over here for sure then, and then we're gonna gore them. Bye, Corrin. Then Dropley using Aquastone should get rid of Drakash. Yeah, that's a really good type matchup. Honestly, that's when I got the good Dropley. I was very ecstatic because having the water against all the fire earth that exists on this fight is spectacular. Yeah, I want to do this. I want to do this, and we'll just do that. Because then I'll have enough to do the goring next turn. Wow, I'm actually crazed I didn't have to use Size Munch at all. Like, I didn't have to use Size Munch at all. I haven't used Osakai at all. Like, that's actually really cool. Wait, oh, is this gonna... This will overexert, but not by much, so I'm kind of okay with it. Although, I kind of want to... Oh, wait, no. I'm going to do something stupid. And I'm going to be like, why are you only scratching? Because I want to see execution work. I want to see how this works. And I don't care if it's, like, not the right way to do it, but I want to see this. Oh, okay. I thought it was, like, this cool thing of, like, it would look like that nothing happened, and then it would, like, humiliating slap almost, but no. Cool. We have unlocked the Earth Trine, then. These walls have seen hundreds of thousands of such, a tradition unbroken for millennia. Now you are a part of this too. What's beyond here? Power and mystery in equal amounts. I don't need to explain it to a tamer like yourself, I presume. The mysteries of taming, evolution, and growth. No, you are a wise man and you know them. Can I move on? Naturally, as long as you understand and respect the cultural significance of this place. Places like this have a power of their own. I think you know what I'm talking about. Use it respectfully. It is the birthright of every human. Go on, and may the ancestors guide you. And Shrine. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I need a 2i for here. But yes, I have made it. Oh my gosh, that's a Luma Volphy. Oh. Like, I was just happy enough to have enough of an Earth Tem to go on here, but like a Luma Volphy. Oof. Oof, doof, 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 doof. But yeah, I think that's kind of it for this, actually. Funny enough, that all that lead up, I'm like, well, that's kind of the Earth Trine. But yeah, the idea is now you can come here, you can go look for 2i. You're going to be probably getting rid of the Osakai constantly. That's level 70. Like I said, there was no quest for it, because you can see I have the cultist, the crystal one here, and then I have the water one here. There might be a quest in the future that I might just automatically complete because I've done the Earth Shrine now, but I now can do it, just like that. This is kind of where teleports would be nice, where it's like, oh, you've unlocked a teleport to this shrine now or something. It'd be like, yeah, that'd be kind of nice, but I also understand that's not necessarily the case, so. I was seeing if they might have more information or something, but yeah, I mean, I guess at this point we can go back and get the 2i if we wanted. Might as well, I think, at this point. I might as well also do this. I'm like, I don't know why I'm like protecting my Tem now. I'm like, I can have these take some damage now. Yeah, because this was just a general cave area. Yeah, it has some items and such, but that's not where I want to go. But thank you, X-Men, for the congrats. I will now prepare for another one now, basically in the unending dealing with shrines. But yeah, I do think I actually want to, I mean, the only thing I haven't looked up is what people are like, yeah, this is the 2y to start with, or like this is what you want on your 2y or 2 rock or something. Da, 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 da. Now people haven't really talked about there. I think people are saying build for it. Cause I don't know what people usually do. That's the thing. So. Hmm. And I'm looking up competitive stats where it's telling me Size Munch is really good to have, and I'm like, awesome. I already have that one, but yeah, it looks like 2 Vine is generally the one that people are like, yeah, that one is apparently good in competitive, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's good in everyday life, I guess. Yeah, no one's really talked about Turok and be like, yeah, this is the... If I do the easy level at shrines, I think it will come up probably. Oh, that's definitely not at TemTem shrines. I don't know what it was talking about, but it definitely was not. That start talking about necromancers. I was like, oops. Oh, use the commas in that. Okay, I feel like I'm just reading stuff, so I probably am bored, but like, there's so much information here. Yeah, well, because I guess I can look at the two things that people are talking about. They're talking about spreader, and spreader is not something I can get from the water shrine with the current 2Kais that I have, or the 52 Kai at least. So yeah, I think it's more just okay. If, you know, I have resilient, which is the best resilient to get, and I think it's probably the 2 rock. Yeah, because I think tactical strike makes the most sense. I feel like, I mean, if I look at what was earth and wind be weak to? Melee for 2, water for 2, nature for 2, but that's nothing too weird. It's just it's a move. I don't really have a good wind type, and yeah, so this is a good way to kind of deal with the electric issues. I mean, actually, yeah, that'd be really good going into Sapanku now I think of it, because it's going to be fine against the electric types, and you know, deal a bunch of damage against electric because it's earth. Oh, yeah. I think we're going to go that route. So, let's go get my 2i. And let's evolve it, because why not? Because I just want another Tem. I'm so close to completing what's available so far that I just want it. Okay, Acronox, again, not bad. All green. I like it, but it's just not something I'm going to be using. So, yeah, because we figured out I have Spoil Sport and other things around here. Although I'll probably just end up buying 2i to get the ones I need, because when they talk about like doing power leveling and such. So, but let's go see what this looks like. I feel like y'all stuck around me long enough. You should at least be able to see what the evolution looks like. I presume it's just a normal evolution, but I don't know what else it does, so I'm curious. Y'all were willing to listen to me ramble on about things that are not TemTem, so. Yeah, there's probably a method of like, here's what you need to do for Turok if you want to do that. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll have to go figure out what that is now. Like, you need to do this kind of TV training if you're doing this, you know. But that's something that I shouldn't be looking up on stream, because I'm just going to look like I'm reading forever, and that's probably not as entertaining as I'd like it to be. Okay, let's see. Should be almost there. There we go. I'm actually wondering though, because it has you pick which Tem, it doesn't immediately know the 2i. I'm wondering if these shrines are going to affect other Tems, if it's not just the 2i that have this ability to evolve into something. Currently, I think it's just the 2i, but I'd be very curious if, you know, they end up putting some other Tem being able to do this or something. I don't know, it's just very intriguing. Where it's like, oh, pick which one you want. It's like, well, but it really is only the 2i, so why would it have me pick? I guess unless you have multiple 2i. Yeah, if you have multiple 2i. I just got it as you think came in there. But I'm like, oh yeah, you gotta make sure you pick the right one. My brain's like, yeah, why would you carry multiple 2i? And I'm like, well, if you're trying to evolve a bunch of them, yeah. Let's see it. And Turok. Yeah. That's cool though. I like it. So that brings up to 96 Tem now at this point. So that's exciting. We're definitely moving along. Again, I'm gonna try to check it. I don't know where my post-its went, but they shouldn't have gone too far. Unless they like fell behind here. Is that? Oh, did I just knock them down? 1 second. I'm gonna be very ungraceful and go onto the floor. Because maybe kitties were knocking them around. Oh, maybe. The kitties do like to play with our post-it notes. And unfortunately, it does not involve very nice things then for us to actually be able to do things. I found one of them. It's not the one I was looking for, but I did find one of them, which makes me think that the other ones are back there. So, 1 second. Huh. Things got pushed back, maybe, you know, who knows what happened. But there is one that told me basically which Tems I was still looking for, and now I can't. Oh, is that it? Nope, that's something else. I will find it at some point, but yeah, there was one that was like, here are the Tems that you need to find, or evolve to, or everything still, and so I'll have to probably redo that or something. Shredded posts, they're not actually too shredded. They really just kind of bite at them, so like the tips of it get a little like a little ripped up, but they really don't destroy them much. And so that's why I'm like, I should be able to find at least like a piece of it. I just can't even find like a piece. The problem is I don't remember which color post-it note. I have like 3 different types of colors right now, so I'm like, if I could narrow it down to the color I would expect to see, this would be easier, but I can't. Is the problem. And we really need to clean out these posts because some of these are like from our Minecraft server. I've talked about how I'm like, if I have to play another, if like me and Belmont are both on a Magic stream again at some point soon, I really need to clean up this desk because there's so many post-its. Yeah, I'm actually wondering if one of the kitties stole it and it's now like I won't see it for a couple weeks now. Like they've stolen it for good or something. So, but I can kind of talk about them if I go back to thing, which I'm lazy. I'm gonna use a smoke bomb. I know it's wasting money, but I'm like, at this point I have money. I can just use a smoke bomb when I feel like it. Haha. So I kind of have them stored here, so you can kind of see them on the side here. So, I need to evolve Platypet twice, through the 2 evolutions there. I need to evolve Crystal twice. I need to evolve Hocheek twice. Obvious things. These are starters that I didn't choose, so I need to get them all the way up to 50-somethings, whatever they need to be at. So that's some work on that one. I think I have, and then I just need the other 2 Y evolutions. I think that's all I'm missing. I mean, let me go ahead and just check when I check the Tempedia here. So I'm looking at stuff that's not regular. So, oh, I don't want unknown. Oopsies. So yeah, I need Platymus, so this third form of Platypet. I need Tentil, and then the one after that, basically Shearalded, and the one after that. Tuvine. I haven't seen the water type 2Y yet, so that's why that doesn't show up. But that's it. I mean, it's really at that point where it's kind of like, well, that's all I need. So, because I have been working hard on it. I've been making sure to do some leveling off camera and go that direction. So I'm very happy about this, where I'm going to be in a good spot. Yeah, I mean, these ones we can't get yet. These ones we can't get yet. These are just obviously because we've seen them from tamers having them. So that's kind of the cool part there, at least. Yeah, it's just those ones. I'll probably go through it. I'll write my post-it again, and like I said, I have all of the Tems right here, so I have, you know, decent enough ones where I'm like, okay, if I level them up, they'll actually do something. I just need to actually go and do the levels, and these are the longest ones, because yeah, Platypet needs 40 levels, and then these 2 need 50-ish. I remembered, so they're gonna take a bit to get leveled up. I mean, Size Munch is only max level because I've literally had it since the beginning. Like, the next closest to probably amount used is Nidrasol, and that's at 55 right now, so that's not even max level despite everything. So that's gonna be some grinding off camera, but I'll probably grind for the water one here in a bit, actually, sooner, just because I can do that pretty quickly. Otherwise, Crystal's also an option, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see on that one which way. Now, the only other thing, I know you talked about fishing, so I actually do want to go fish, I think, and kind of show you that. So let's trade back up my team to be good again. I shouldn't say good. I should say let's trade back up my team to be the team that I expect to have. Yeah, you were okay, so I'll put you in the okay area. You are fairly good, so let's put you in the fairly good option. Maybe I'll actually just want to level up to rock, who knows. I got time before the thing. This is kind of something I think we'll just kind of put in this area here. Because probably I want to put something else in here. Like, the platypet might be actually what I want to put in for the, like, Coward's Cloak option right now to get leveled up. Just for the passive experience. Volphy is pretty good for where we're going to face up. I don't think it's not very good when we get to the actual place, so. Oh, I never took off the lure. Oopsies. No wonder Volphy was getting hit so hard. Oopsies. Again, okay. Nothing too crazy on that Volphy, so we'll kind of just put it over there. Can't remember, is my mouth link good? Alright. Not crazy. Did I have a better goatee? No, each of them had at least an orange, I just noticed. Yeah, so. If I bred for it, I might be able to get a better goatee for a mouth link, but we're going to keep Size Munch. Size Munch is going to be a thing. I think we're going to get rid of Rolder, although they are, well, they're actually kind of funky, so let's put them in the meh area. Because I had a meh Gario over there too, and that's when I swapped out. So let's look, who in the good area do I want to keep going on stuff? Let's see. A Barnchi is good because the men. Well, you know what? Let's bring back in the Kinu. Where's my Kinu? Did I put it all the way back? Oh yeah, it went over here because I was just like, oh yeah, it's okay, but we'll keep Kinu. They're pretty good against stuff right now. Who else would be really good in where we are? I mean, Nindersoul, obviously. Yeah, let's just do Yaller and Naum. Why not? Naum. Let's go this route. They're all 50s, they'll get me through stuff easily. And then let's actually put stuff on them. So Kinu needs the Baton Pass, because Baton Pass will heal what Protector gets rid of. So it's actually just a net positive. Naum needs the, where is it? The Resistance Badge, because that makes neutral techniques better. Our Yowler only has the double screen, which I think is just good in general for Yowler. Especially when you go against Koish, because Koish is always a duel, except for when it's water, so this is actually really good. Umbrella and Nindersoul probably makes sense if we're going to go up against Koish. War Drum, and then Coward's Cloak. Okay, cool. Well, actually, crap. I need one of them to have... We'll give it to Nindersoul. Wait, someone needs to have the 4-leaf, because in case I want to catch things. So, makes sense. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's show you where the fishing lodge is, because... I mean, you've probably seen where it is. I shouldn't say that. But fishing is a weekly thing, because I know you mentioned earlier. I didn't forget, I promise. But basically... it is a weekly thing where the point of it is not actually to catch a good Koish, which is the weird part. Because you'd be thinking, like, oh, do that. It's more of a random chance and identification test, basically. So every week, they put up on the board, here is what a perfect Koish type looks. And there's 5 different parameters to look for, whether it's whisker, its tail, and its colors on it. Its front tail, and then its colors on its back tail. And if you get 4 of them matched out of the 5, you get a certain small prize. If you get all 5 of them matched, you get a bigger prize set. But it's not as common as you'd think to try to find something that at least has 4. I got to 4 last time, but not to 5 anywhere. I didn't put a ton of time into it. Some people are like, it takes 20 hours. I'm like, I'm not willing to spend 20 hours just fishing. That seems a little crazy, especially because they just run away, and I'm like, no, I want the levels. Like, why would I, you know? So, of course, I run straight into really annoying birds right away, where I'm like, oh, I don't need a Guzma, and then I immediately need a Guzma. Or Gazuma. Gazuma. Like, I don't need that, and then immediately I do. That's okay, I'm 10 levels up on them. They don't have any type advantage or anything. Kinu has a way to heal. I'm not too worried. Now, Undermine. Let's show what that move looks like. Poof. Didn't do as much because there's not a type advantage thing. But it's still a pretty good move. It's a little hold though, which is annoying, but they're also really exhausting themselves to try to kill this Kinu with Hypoxia, which is pretty nuts. So I might just have to heal Kinu themselves, because they're overexerting themselves. But yeah, let's just revitalize and keep you alive. Let's nibble on that one. Get rid of it. But yeah, that's why Stab Master is so good, is that you have so many on Naum. That's just really good. Neutral moves that just do extra damage. There we go. Now we're getting some healing back in Kinu. That's why I like Kinu. Oh yeah, I forgot how many moves, because I taught it Tsunami, I think, right away. I forgot how many moves it had, like, at the time of hatching. Let's get rid of Cheer Up. Venomous Claws, let's change it there. All the leveling. Yeah, Platypet. Okay. Then we're just gonna do a Beta Burst and, I don't know, a Nibble. That should be fine. Nibble's probably gonna get rid of it to begin with, so. And then Kinu is just gonna heal. Oh yeah, lots of moves. Well, I mean, because to be fair, Platypet is one of those ones that is a 3 level, so it learned Sand Splatter. I promise it already knew Sand Splatter, but yeah, it started with a couple because of just the way I bred it. I think it was with, I don't know what I bred it with, I can't remember, but if you breed it with the right thing, you can get a bunch of moves by level 1, so none of them are egg moves or anything. It's all ones they would learn eventually, but I might have bred it with like a later form of Platypet, now I think of it, and that might have been why it did that. I don't know. I don't remember. I made an egg a long time ago. It's probably on a stream somewhere that I did it or talked about it. When you're on your, what are we on, 19th? When you're on your 19th stream of TemTem, I'm like, I don't remember things anymore. I've lost track. I know I did it at some point, and it's somewhere recorded. If people really feel they want to do that, you know, and spend their time on that, more power to you, but no. We're gonna go fishing. So I'm gonna show what fishing looks like. That's actually why I have so many Koish, it's just I was fishing, or the fishing only gets you one type, going around the lake gets you more, but that's actually why I have Koish types though, because I started just collecting them to test out as I went. Oh, Beta Burst, pay attention, Nick, pay attention. Where is my water? I don't know if it's been the weird changes in weather, but it's been very dry air, and it's been really annoying. But yeah, we want to get that eventually, which is why I'm looking at that. That's what we eventually want, the big platypus. Okay, into the lodge. Okay, so yeah, so like I said, every week they give you this. So this is what you're trying to match. You're trying to match long whiskers, so you can see them curl a little bit there. You're trying to match a short fin underneath, so it's not very long or anything. I'm pretty sure it's the one under. I don't think it's the one above, based on what I've seen. Because above tells you the type. And then you need the kind of grayish blue, the white, and then the kind of beige back upper tail. But yeah, if you match 4, you'll get this prize. If you match all, you'll get that prize. Whatever that prize is, and it is randomized even amongst the weeks, so you won't get the same thing as someone else who also matched 5. So yeah, that's kind of the way to do it, and yeah, so yeah, you just plop out here, and you're just like, I'm gonna go fishing, and it's really just a quick like reaction game to be basically to make sure you're paying attention. It's really not that hard. but if you're not paying attention, you might not hit it correctly. But you can see this one does not match much at all. This one, I actually took a picture of it when I was going for it last time. Yeah, this one, oh, that's right, it's the fin back here. That's what it's looking for. So this is a long one, you can kind of see. So this one's just gonna go away. I'm not worried about this one. But this is also why I made sure to grab a 10 that I needed to level, because I'm just going to be getting levels by going through these, since I actually attack them. Now, yes, it's not good for TV training, and I'm aware of that, but I'm also like, I just want to level these things and get through the shrines. Oh, see, I wasn't paying attention, and immediately it's like, oh, you missed your point. There we go. And you can get 2 of them on a line, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you can get 2 of them here. Let's see. Nope, not quite a match. The right one has some good matches, though. It's got the long, it's got the it's got the beige, but yeah, so it only matched 3. These 2 are still bad. And then this one has the beige in back. It has nothing else, so. But that's what can happen, you know, it's just. Actually, Beta Burst can be really good against these, I just realized that. Because these are neutral and water. So, actually, Beta Burst is going to be really good on Kinu against these. Unless they have Iridescence, but I've usually been pretty good where they happen. And yeah, you just keep fishing. I actually do it by sound now that I realize it. I do it less by the look because it's a slow moving animation, so. Yeah, so this one, short whiskers, long fin, like, no. None of these are good at all, so. That's when you just shoot it with toxic waste. Or toxic ink, I guess technically it's not waste. Oh yeah, so they have iridescence, so they're actually gonna resist a lot of this stuff. But they also won't do much damage to me, so, you know. I guess you look at it that way. That's where I just go ahead and I use hallucination and make them tire themselves out. And then catch them, because I could catch these, that's the thing. I can actually, my Kinu Nidrisol team are really good for that, because Kinu will just keep both of them healed up no matter what, and I'm not really worried about attacks. Oh, that's no fair. Oh, it did overexert itself at least beforehand. So they're immune. Well, you know what? Let's just rest for a turn then. Because they're going to lose their status. I'm going to go ahead and probably just rest and use hallucination again. I know iridescence means it's not going to do well against it, but it's also not really damaging it, so. Or I guess it actually, no, this is damaging it. That's right. I forgot because I have a mental tem. Ooh, who are they turning asleep? Nidrisol, fair enough. Oh, but that got rid of Koish. Oh well. But yeah, that's a way to stay fully topped off with these two because they won't take damage. They'll heal too much with each other. So actually, I should run for a second to get rid of the sleep on Nidrisol. There we go. That's the other thing, obviously, with this is that unless you move, the revitalization there, the rejuvenation or whatever that Kinu's doing. Oh my god, I'm not paying attention. You can see this is what happens. I get talking. I just get distracted way too easily. But the rejuvenation on Kinu there, unless you move, it doesn't go away. And so you can keep it between the battles in here, which actually works really nicely. I don't think this is the right strat I should be doing, but it's a nice one in general. Yep, this one has iridescence. Okay. Oh well. It's still doing a fair amount of damage, so I'm not really too worried. Yeah, revitalize there. Yeah, We'll throw a Tem card, why not? I don't think I'm gonna catch this, yeah. I didn't think it would make it through the 4 tests, but I was like, you know what? Might as well try it. It's gonna be very low on energy and everything, or on stamina. Gonna rest, I think, and then we'll do hallucination, which I don't think will kill it because of the iridescence. Or maybe it will. Yeah, it still got rid of him. Wow. Oops. Well, I mean, worst case, I'm leveling Platypet, so I'm not too worried. I actually have no idea what Koish... Like, does Koish have different TV levels based on its types? I don't think that makes sense. What does it have? It has 2 for attack. Okay, that's not actually terrible on Platypet. So actually, Platypet's probably only had attack, really. Yeah, it's just had a bunch of attack. Well, it's interesting, though, that the tail colors differ depending on what secondary type it has. I didn't even realize that. I just haven't been paying attention to it, I guess, so. Huh. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Let's do a couple more fishing, though, I think, just to see if we get lucky here. Because if we get lucky and we happen to snag the 5-all at the... Oh, jeez. Come on. If we happen to stack the 5-all, like, during stream, that would be nuts. Especially since I've only been doing it for like 15 minutes. I doubt it. That's crazy luck, but it would be cool to find. I'm just happy finding the match 4, though, to be fair, because the amount of time I put into it, finding a match 4 is still pretty good. Iridescence. Yeah, because these are really strong. I want to catch them. And level 47, and especially for a 10 that's not going to evolve, is pretty good to grab them at, but... Let's go heal you. And... I'll do Sharp Leaf, why not? It's not going to do much, but it's going to slowly inch them to where I want them to be. Nichels all healed up then. Damage themselves. Heal Toxic. That's probably going to put it right at the right spot for catching. Alright? Nope. Never mind. I'm not that lucky. But. Bloop. Oh yeah, we're getting terrible tail colors. Like, not even close. Because really, if you match the 3 tail colors, you have a really good shot at it, because then you just have the 2 different types up here. So, that's actually a really good way to do it, but... No, because I needed the beige in the back here, and then it would be a 3 match at least, but... I also thought, like, it rated you on how close you got to it, so if you got 3, you still got something, but then I realized when I tried to turn it in, it didn't work. I was like, oh, you need to actually match 4, or match all, not match as close as you can. Ooh, that's a very good placement for us. For catching it. Revitalize to here. And let's try. That is a really low health bar. Holy crap. First check did not go well. Yeah, they're gonna exhaust themselves anyway, so might as well try. Like they're gonna get rid of themselves pretty easily. So yeah, there we go. See, we got one. Stats aren't terrible. I mean, it's not great, but they're not terrible. And Synergy Master is nice because even if, like, obviously if you can get something that's a water neutral that cares about it, Synergy Master is gonna be really good. So I don't think we have much water neutral, so I'm probably pretty safe at saying that should go to my Tem deck. On that note, though, I think we might end the stream here. I think we're kind of at a natural stopping point. The Earth Trine went a little quicker than I thought, so that's part of it. I'm just going to leave this up for people who are hoping to do that soon. Yeah, I think the Earth Trine went a little quicker than I expected. Johnny didn't take up as much time as usual for his stream, so that's part of it when I'm planning around that. And yeah, thanks for sharing that fishing out of it. Oh, I mean, are you still working on the story then? Like, are you like preparing for General X, or are you just you just haven't come back and finished the story yet? Because I mean, I definitely recommend getting this point. The Kisawa update, getting to the end, Kisawa's big and I never unlocked it. Oh, that's fair. But I mean, getting dailies and getting the ability to do this actually does give you some actual reason to keep coming back in, and like, the grinding isn't as bad when I'm like, oh, I'm going to do like a few levels here and then also do dailies and then also do this. You know, it gives you a little reasoning to be in every day and do a little bit rather than being like, oh my gosh, I have to grind 50 levels to get to this Tem. Like, if it's not that grindy if you break it up a bit. So I do recommend getting through it. If you do want to co-op at some point, I'll do my best to help you out. Some of those battles are crazy, but I would be willing to help out as much as I can. As you go through, because it is a very large wing, and the fact that they're saying, oh yeah, Sapanku is even larger, I'm like, holy crap, how big are these islands that they're shouting us to? Yeah, if you ever need that, or if you need, Tems to get past certain things, like the housing quest, if you need the Serenif, I could probably level it up pretty quickly with the shrines now. So, just let me know, and I'll do. Yeah, the fact that teleports are coming in, if they're saying Sapanku is much bigger, that's what Saskia said. Now, whether it's true or not, I don't know, but that is what Saskia said when we were talking to her. So I'm going off of that it's bigger. Also, just because it seems like that would be, at least whether it's physically bigger or not, it's probably gonna be a lot more happening because you're obviously going to climb Belsoto's like lair of sorts, and that's probably gonna be a bit. But yeah, them adding teleports, I do expect, and I'm totally okay with, but I do expect them to have like a small fee to use, because that's what a lot of MMOs do to kind of deter you from wanting to use them, or making it where your money doesn't go as far because you're just teleporting everywhere. I think that's almost needed, because for dailies, if you just teleport everywhere, it's kind of, something very quickly done rather than, it's something where there should be almost a cost to kind of make it so like your dailies aren't as good money-wise. You'll still get the items, but it's not good money-wise if you're just teleporting to each spot. I also am not sure it should be teleports everywhere. Like, teleport to Windward Fort, teleport to Sai Park, to Anak Volcano, to Great Banyan. Like, feature places make sense, but like having a teleport in many different places, like having one randomly in the middle of Arisola and Bricolmar, though, that doesn't seem to make sense. So I'm curious how they do it. There's definitely a lot of MMOs to look after, so I'm curious to see what comes up. But teleports are one of those ones where I'm like, I expect it to still cost money, and I am a miser. I don't like spending money, because I'm like, why spend that when I can go buy clothing? I'm like, I've actually got a fair amount, with the Earth Trine and everything. We went up a few thousand, so I know the best way obviously is to do some breeder shenanigans, like figure out your breeder thing and make sure it's good enough where you can make money off of it, but I don't know if I have the patience right now to get into the point where I can be, every week breeding trying for a bunch of perfects, and as a result having a lot of breedjects. I can't even say it out loud, I've seen them written so much. So, but yeah, this is kind of a tour of Kiso, I guess. I like Brain Dead Income. I'd rather make an I'd rather make an alt than try and do 4D breeding chests. That's fair. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you can make an alt at this point. I don't know if there's... I mean, the thing I'd be curious of is making an alt if there'd be a reason in particular why that would make you more money than just on your own account. I'm kind of curious on that, because all the money is kind of the late game right now. The current late game, obviously it's mid game and the technical eventual release of TemTem, but everything's kind of later, and so the only thing with alt is like if you're doing dailies more often. Is that kind of what you're thinking? Like if you were doing it where that makes it so you can do another set of rematches, you can do another daily, you can get, you know, but like Koish fishing is not going to necessarily be better. It's still going to take a very long time. But yeah, I could see like where daily you have an alt doing, yeah, more postal service and rematches. Yeah, I could see that for the resets. I'm at the point where I'm like, I only really have time to jump into the postal service a lot of times and then leave TemTem. So that's kind of where I'm like, I'm fine with the one, but I double down on rematches and try to understand breeding. Yeah, that's fair. I think rematches are meant to be where the money is, and so you're supposed to make a team, like, so it's less complicated kind of thing, but I think it also runs into the issue where you can only do that weekly, and so you kind of hit an upper limit on that, whereas breeding is really just based on the amount of time. But I think eventually, and there's actually someone who hangs around here a lot of times, Leg of Me. I was wondering if they were going to jump into chat at some point, but they actually are working on getting perfects of every tem and kind of going that direction. Obviously, long quest, not going to happen anytime soon, but the idea of just having those, and their kind of direction is that once they have the perfect, they don't need anything else. They're all set right now. And so they can, you know, all the breed checks, all the stuff can be sold, but I don't know where I was going with that kind of thing, but that's kind of just a place where you can get a lot more money. So I probably will get into it at some point. I'll want to make some perfects, especially if I'm thinking for a rematch team. Like, that's probably what will get me into it, is actually the rematches, where I'm like, I need a better Volphy, you know, so I might as well go make a perfect and try to do that, rather than trying to buy one, because it's going to be much more expensive than just doing it with the time. So I'll figure it out. It's probably cheap. It's probably actually cheaper to just buy it, but you know, it's one of those I'm like, well, I might as well try for it while I'm already doing the rematches. So, but yeah, eventually I'll do a perfect, eventually I'll try it. It's just obviously you have the issue where you start running out of you have to like start buying the DNA strands, and that gets expensive. And yeah, I presume though that it's still, if you have the ability, if you have the right tem, it's cheaper, but we'll have to see. So, but yeah, I think it's time to head out. I'm starting to get sleepy, which is probably not good for the stream. But thank you so much, X-Men, for joining. I do appreciate kind of having someone to chat back and forth with. I hope I maybe reignited some fun into TemTem for you. Thank you for the follow. Probably weren't expecting that dance thing. That's a whole other story. We're musical lovers. If you know what musical that's from, I'm going to say impressive. It's not unheard of, but not at all. No, but it's awesome. That's all I gotta say. It's from a British musical, so I don't expect a lot of people to get it when they follow, but it's a fun, just out of nowhere dance remix, and so I love it. So if that shows anything, a random bad German accent British musical song that, I shouldn't say it's obscure. It has hit Broadway, so it's not obscure, but it's definitely not what you expect to hear from us. Yeah, we are musical nerds. We are general nerds. You can see a lot of that, as always, recommend, in trygamers.com if you haven't checked it out. There's a lot of content. If you want to see where I've done TemTem stuff, or like certain parts of it, spoilers, I definitely did not beat Max before the first Narwhal ride. I'm not even going to pretend on that. That destroyed me because I was not prepared for it. Very happy to say I beat Max every other time, but not that first time. So if you want to see that, otherwise there's Stardew Valley, Magic the Gathering, Runeterra, Belmont playing Runeterra. That was fun. Solasta, which has got some D&D stuff, all sorts of stuff on there. So if you want some more content to watch while we're not on the air, And we're on Twitter. Oh, other way. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at TryGamers, just like here. But yeah, thanks for joining, X-Men. Raspy Kitten, I think, is still lurking about. Thanks for joining, and hope you enjoyed your puppy pile. I think that's kind of who was hanging out, so thank y'all. If you're looking for other streamers as well, instead of kind of the VOD direction, we recommend, who's up right now? We recommend, wait. Well, Bengineer's doing World of Warcraft tonight, so if you want to keep the MMO direction, Bengineering is pretty good. We love him from Loading Ready Run fame. Otherwise, Nick Makes Plays is doing some Legends of Runeterra, which is pretty common. They've hit a lot of high rank in there, so they're pretty good on that. Jimmy Wetzel's playing Minecraft, which I'm very confused, because that does not seem like what I'd expect, but, you know. Otherwise, there's a bunch of other streamers. I recommend checking them out, send them some love, sort of thing, and we'll be back before you know it, because tomorrow night, Belmont's streaming on his Tuesday night Belmont and Chill. He is streaming Pillars of Eternity. Now, I would love to say I know what the game is, but I'm going to find out with all of you, because I have heard of it. I don't know much about it, so you're going to have to talk to him tomorrow for more questions on that and quiz him on it. But and then Sunday, in our schedule, we are back to, on a lazy Sunday afternoon, we are doing Minecraft Dungeons. This coming week would be the plan, because we do every other. So if you want to see us just hack and slash our way through a bunch of stuff, that's a good way to do it. And then next Monday, I'll be returning with modded Stardew Expanded. So if you want to come see a very different look at Stardew Valley, it is a very good way to do so. Otherwise, as always mentioned, be kind, take care of yourself. All very important things while we're having a rough time with, I think people call it the panini now at this point, because we can't say it on social media. I want to start calling it the Panharmonicon, but that's just my magic nerdness going with it. Definitely take care of yourself, do what you need to do, kind of thing. Be nice, and we'll all get through this. So, have a good night, X-Men, Raspy Kitten, everybody else watching who's not live necessarily or just hiding. I love you all, and I hope you have a great night. Bye-bye.